you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Good evening and welcome to Game 2 for the 2023 SLO Blues. Tonight from Sinsheimer Stadium in San Luis Obispo, the Blues retake the field looking for the first sweep of the summer. The Blues were all over the Coastal Dodgers last night. Blues pitching struck out 17 Dodgers and SLO walked 15 times at the plate en route to a 5-0 victory. Cuesta College lefty Robbie Lardner got the opening night start and tossed 6 scoreless innings, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 12. The offense did enough to scratch across 5 runs on just 3 hits to give the fans at Sinsheimer a season-opener shutout win. With the first game and win out of the way, the Blues now aim for the 2-game sweep, and they will hand the ball to Alex Narin. On the other side, the Coastal Dodgers need to clean things up before jumping back on the diamond tonight. Coastal's pitching and defense gave away too many free passes to Blues hitters and never gave their offense a real chance. On the hitting side, the Dodgers will aim to put the ball in play more against this strong Blues pitching staff. The boys in Dodger Blue turned to Bradley Waite to try and escape SLO with a series split. Is it broom day at Sinsheimer, or can the Dodgers upend the Blues in Game 2? We'll find out the answer to that question at the end of the night. The Blues' second game of 2023 is minutes away here on the SLO Blues streaming network. As we welcome you into the broadcast booth, Jack Smith alongside with you again. So excited to spend this Blues 2023 season with you. It was a great night last night, a Blues 5-0 win. It was really a long night for everyone, but specifically the Coastal Dodgers. They labored through a ton of innings on defense and walked 15 Blues hitters. The Blues only managed 3 hits. That was less than the Dodgers had all game, but the Blues came away with a 5-0 win. The offense did just enough to come away with a victory, and the real key was the pitching put up by the Blues staff. Robbie Lardner and Matthew Gonzalez combined for 17 strikeouts on the mound. Now, the Blues have had more before. They believe 22 just 2 years ago, but the Blues pitching was phenomenal, especially for an opening night victory, and the Blues came away with it 5-0. Let's take you down to the field for tonight's first pitch, and a beautiful toss. And a called strike, according to the PA announcer here at Sinsheimer Stadium. And that readies us up for the national anthem right on tap. Don't go anywhere. The Blues' second game of the season coming right up on the SLO Blues streaming network.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
We welcome you back to Sinsheimer Stadium on the SLO Blues streaming network as the Blues take the field with the Blue Buddies. Little League Giants squad helping the Blues find their positions and we ready up for the national anthem here at Sinsheimer. It is the 1-0 San Luis Obispo Blues versus the 0-1 Coastal Dodgers. We've got the national anthem on tap. We'll let you take a listen.
Now time for the national anthem, which is being performed this evening by Juliana Sementina. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to kindly stand and remove your caps. Juliana?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly revealed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
Beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner here at Sinsheimer Stadium, and that means we're ready for baseball. Here, the SLO Blues, Game 2 of the 2023 season. And let's take you through who's playing for the Blues today. Starting in the outfield from left to right for your San Luis Obispo Blues, it's Jason Hansen who gets the start in left. Nin Burns, the second, is back out there in center field. And in right field, it's TJ Adams, the redshirt freshman from Arizona. Across the infield, it's Zach Tollerman at third. He gets a second start. Augusto Schroeder back at shortstop. New player, it's Judah Hill who's playing second base from Arroyo Grande High School. And it's still Trevor Schmidt at first base after he got the start yesterday. Behind the dish, Ryan Taman headed to Cal Berkeley in the squat for the second time in the last 2 days. And JT Ricken will be the designated hitter again on the mound for your San Luis Obispo Blues, making his first start of the year. Alec Narin, the 6'2 right-handed pitcher, still undecided where he's going to go play his college ball, but just finished up his senior season at San Luis Obispo High School, had a 2.44 ERA in 57 and a third innings pitched. For the Blues yesterday, it was a really nice opening day win, a 5-0 shutout. We mentioned Blues pitching struck out 17, so a tough act for Narin to follow, but he's got the stuff, led SLO High School in strikeouts and innings pitched. So if yesterday night was any indication of how this night might go, you could see a lot of Ks racked up by the right-hander heading to his freshman year of college. For the Coastal Dodgers, their offense lines up this way. It's Jeremy Camarena, the shortstop, heading to Allen Hancock High School. Ryan Weiss bats second, Santa Barbara Community College product. Cole Knightley hits in the 3 spot, plays third base. Ash Bibbies, the right fielder, bats cleanup. Cal Whipp, the first baseman, headed to Pepperdine next year, bats fifth. Casey Wood, the center fielder, hits in the 6th spot. And then from 7, 8, 9, it's Riley Ryan, Josh Ferguson, and Eric Goebel. Just about ready for first pitch here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The Blues and the Dodgers readying up for Game 2 of this 2-game set, and the Blues looking for their first sweep of 2023. Narin prepares to toss for the first time today. Looking in at Jeremy Camarena, played yesterday at second base. Gets the start at shortstop in the leadoff hole today for the Dodgers. First pitch is a fastball popped up towards first. Schmidt breaks back on it and now makes the catch for the first out of this ball game. An easy first out for Narin. Just a fastball in on the hands, and he retires the first hitter he faces. Beautiful start for Narin, making his first outing of the season. And now here's Ryan Weiss, the catcher from Santa Barbara Community College, who ducks out of the way of a high fastball. It is 1 ball and no strikes. Great crowd on hand again at Sinsheimer Stadium. Yesterday's attendance, a season opener record. There's a fastball a little too far inside. 2 balls and no strikes. 1,447 people filed into the stands for yesterday's opening night matchup between these two squads. 2-0 and a swing and a miss. High fastball right by the bat of Ryan Weiss, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Naring working from the first base side of the rubber, kicks and fires. That's a fastball too high. 3 balls, 1 strike. The Blues decked out in the pinstripe white uniforms. We saw them wear yellow yesterday, the brand new unis. This time it's back to the tried and true, the pinstripe whites with Blues written across the front, and a little bit of a navy strip down the middle. 3-1. That's a fastball in there for a strike. From Narin, you're going to see 4 different kinds of pitches. A fastball, he's thrown primarily so far today. He'll also feature a changeup and then 2 breaking balls, a curveball and a slider. Payoff pitch on the way. A swing and a miss. First strikeout for Alec Narin as a member of the San Luis Obispo Blues, and there's 2 away here in the first. So Narin sits Weiss down on strikes, and he's the first Dodger to strike out today against Blues pitching. We mentioned how many just there were yesterday, and really flabbergasted to see how many Ks that the Blues were able to ring up. There's a fastball foul back to the screen off the bat of Cole Knightley. Knightley got the start at shortstop yesterday, starting at third base today in the 3 spot at Colorado State Puebla. He had a rough day in the field yesterday with 2 errors, but did reach base twice. As he looks at a fastball for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Score still not at 0 apiece between the Blues and the Dodgers. Game 2 of this 2-game set. Narin sets at the belt, now comes home. And misses high with a fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's been only fastballs from Narin so far. He's got that 4-pitch mix, but sticking with the hard stuff. We'll see if he goes somewhere else. 1-2. It's a curveball, a little bit too low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on Cole Knightley, the right-handed hitting third baseman for the Coastal Dodgers. Defense plays straight up for the Blues. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner, and 2 strikeouts in the first for Alec Narin. We head to the bottom of the first inning, and the Blues bring up the top of the order. Nin Burns, Augusto Schroeder, and Zach Tollerman when we come back on the SLO Blues streaming network. A scoreless first frame from Alec Narin brings the Blues to the plate, and we'll introduce the starting lineup for your San Luis Obispo Blues tonight. It's Nin Burns II who gets another start in the leadoff spot playing center field. Had 2 walks, 3 stolen bases yesterday. Augusto Schroeder moves from 8 to 2. The shortstop from Arkansas State bats in the 2 spot. Zach Tollerman, the local product of Cuesta College, still undecided where he's going to school next, but he plays third base and bats third. JT Ricken headed to Oregon next year. Still DHing, still in the 4th spot. Ryan Tiemann, the catcher headed to Cal Berkeley, is in the 5 spot. And Trevor Schmidt, one of the first 2 Arizona players in this lineup, he bats 6. Jason Hansen makes his first start. Headed to UC Davis next year, bats 7th. TJ Adams Another Arizona Wildcat bats for the first time for the Blues in the 8th spot, and Judah Hill from Arroyo Grande High School rounds out the batting order, batting 9th. It's Nin Burns II, who just mentioned, got on base twice yesterday, 3 stolen bases, went 0 for 3, so he's still looking for his first Blues hit. He takes a fastball for a strike. It's no balls and 1 strike. Burns from Cal Poly Pomona wiggles that black bat behind his black helmet and swings, taps it towards third. In comes the third baseman, Knightley. His throw's low, but dug out by Whip, the first baseman, just in time to get the speedy Nin Burns II. There's one away here in the bottom of the first. And the count, no balls and 1 strike on Schroeder, playing shortstop today for the Blues. And he taps this one towards second. In comes Ferguson, the second baseman, plays the high hop, throws low to first in time, and there's 2 away. So 2 groundouts for the Blues. And a good job by Bradley Waite, the starter for the Coastal Dodgers, to be around the zone. That was a problem yesterday for the Dodgers. They walked 15 SLO Blues. Not a recipe for success if you want to win baseball games, especially at the collegiate level. Have to make the guys hit you. Here's the 0-0 pitch to Zach Tollerman in there for strike 1. In fact, the Blues had less hits than the Dodgers last night. The Blues only came away with 3 base knocks, 2 singles and 1 double. That double off the bat of JT Ricken, but despite falling behind on the hit leaderboard, they still got the win, 5-0, as Tollerman takes the ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Blues and Dodgers still scoreless. Bradley Waite from the windup, first base side of the rubber, kicks and fires. And Tollerman swings through a curveball to make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tollerman sometimes, obviously being 6'5", can have a little bit of a long swing. Was working in batting practice yesterday and today to really punch through the zone. Shorten up the swing and swing with his hands instead of his arms. The 1-2 pitch from Waite. As a fastball too high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tollerman 0 for 3, but walked twice. 2-2. He checks his swing on a slider. Did he go? Yes, says our first base umpire here at Sinsheimer. Tollerman can't believe it in the right-hand batter's box, but the Blues go down 1-2-3, and a strikeout on Tollerman ends the inning. We head to the top of the second. It's still Blues 0, Dodgers 0. Top 2 here at Sinsheimer Stadium, and it's still 0-0. Dodgers and Blues. Alec Narin worked a 1-2-3 top of the first inning, had 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging, and the Blues well on their way if they're trying to tie yesterday night's 17 strikeout performance. And now Narin looks in at Ash Bibbies, the right fielder, and misses inside with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Narin working from the stretch as always, comes set, and now comes home, and he nails Bibbies in the back. The first base runner for the Blues here today is a hit by pitch to Ash Bibbies, and there's 1 runner on with nobody out. Well, Bibbies took that one like a champ. Tossed his bat back, made the walk to first base, but didn't stop to rub it. He doesn't want to see any of his teammates looking at him. He'll act at first base like that did not hurt. Naren looks back at first. Now looks in at Cal Whip, the first baseman headed to Pepperdine. He flies it out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Just like yesterday, plenty of kids here at Sinsheimer Stadium, and they all chase after the souvenir. This one looks like it falls under the back of one of the rows of bleachers. And I guess it's for every kid. That means it doesn't exist anymore. Pick to first, and Bibbies is back in with a dive. No balls, 1 strike on Cal Whip. Whip stands 6'1", 190 pounds. Long hold from Naren. Here's his 0-1. Chin music up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Blues looking for their first sweep of 2023. Game 2 of a 2-game set here between these two squads at Sinsheimer Stadium. Blues won last night 5-0. Another swing and a miss on the fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No outs here in the first inning. Runner at first, that's Ash Bibbies, who was hit by a pitch to start this frame. Now, with 2 strikes, all the Blues fans start chanting hot sauce, and I'll explain what that means in just a couple pitches. 1-2. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts for Alec Naren so far, and there's 1 away here in the second. So it's free hot sauce for every Blues strikeout. If you come here, you get a program, you'll have a lucky number, and every strikeout, one of those numbers gets called, and someone gets a bottle of hot sauce from a local Creole cafe. So 1 out here in the inning. Another pick to first, and Ash Bibbies is back in safe. Now 3 strikeouts and 4 outs for Alec Naren. Mentioned earlier, led San Luis Obispo High School in strikeouts on the mound this past season. 0-0. That's a fastball a little bit too far inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Naren, like many of the players right now on the Blues roster, guy that won't be with the Blues all summer, as a 1-0 is lined out to left field. Jason Hansen broke towards the gap. Now it's over his head. Bounces up against the wall. He tosses it in. Bibbies is around to third base, and Casey Wood into second with a 1-out double. Runners at second and third for the Coastal Dodgers. Jason Hansen chased that one into the gap and then realized he had to range back a little bit further than he expected. Looked like he made a wrong route on that fly ball. If he had gone back from the start, it looked like he would have had a chance, but it bounced over his head off the 380 marker out in left center field. And now Riley Ryan comes to the plate with a chance to bring in the Dodgers' first runs of the 2023 season. Naren strides home and gets a swing and a miss on a fastball at 0-1. So Wood with the double stands at second base. Ash Bibbies, who was hit by a pitch to start this frame, he's at third, 90 feet away from scoring a potential first run here tonight at Sinsheimer. Naren sets up, glove held at the belt, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss again. That time it was a sword from Riley Ryan. Wasn't sure whether to take or swing, and he did a little bit of both. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Big strikeout spot for Naren. He has 3 already today. Trying to keep that runner at third. Steps off and wants to get another look at his signs. With Ryan Tiemann, another player his same age, both of the 2 members of the Blues battery, finished up their senior season of high school recently and will soon head to the collegiate level. 0-2 pitch. Little bit too far inside on the fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tiemann already knows where he's going. He's going to UC Berkeley to play for the California Golden Bears. But Naren, who just finished his senior year at SLO, undecided on where his next school will be. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He strides and shoots and breaks that curveball. Just missed the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's only the second off-speed pitch that we've seen from Naren. He's had to rely just on his fastball so far. But now that he's surrendered a hit and a hit by pitch in this inning, varying up the repertoire. Sets at the belt. Here's his 2-2. And a number towards short. Schroeder has to come in, fielded on the forehand. His running throw a little bit high and past Trevor Schmidt at first base. It bounces up on the facing of the Blues dugout. Schmidt throws to second, but both runners advance on the error from Augusto Schroeder. A run comes in, And it's the same situation, second and third, just one out. And the Dodgers on the board for the first time in 2023. He scored at E6, so no RBI for Riley Ryan. But Bibbies comes in to score. It's 1-0, and Casey Wood stands at third now. Real good job from Nairn to get the soft ground ball, but Schroeder playing a little bit too far back. As you see him right now, heels near the grass, had to make a rush throw. Here's Josh Ferguson. He swings and misses at a fastball. No balls and one strike. So Nairn now has to work around the error. The unearned run comes in to score, but he's not out of the woods yet. Still second and third, just one out. Nairn comes set, looks at third, now comes home. And spots up on the outside corner with a fastball. It's no balls and two strikes. One out here, top two. Blues and Dodgers. And the Dodgers have their first lead of this series and the season. It's 1-0. Nairn readies. Here's his 0-2. Swing and a miss. Tip into the glove of Taman. And that's the fifth strikeout for Nairn today. And now there's two away. Big strikeout spot, and he gets the K. Now just needs one more out to try and limit the damage here in the second. Here's Eric Goebel, the 9-hole hitter. The lefty takes a changeup, a little bit low, 1 ball and no strikes. That's the first time we've seen the change from Nairn today. He'd been primarily fastball, curveball. But as he prepares to face this lineup for a second time, introducing a couple other pitches. 1-0. Looks like another fastball misses out, 2 balls and no strikes. It's Riley Ryan at second base. He reached and advanced on the error by the shortstop Augusto Schroeder. And Casey Wood, who doubled over the head of Jason Hansen, the left fielder, stands 90 feet away from scoring at third. 2-0 fastball out again, 3 balls, no strikes. A walk would load the bases for the top of the order, Jeremy Camarena. It would create a force situation at any base for the Blues. But in a spot like this, never really want to issue walks with 2 outs. Nairn kicks and fires, and misses low with a fastball, a 4-pitch walk. Here with 2 outs, and the bases are loaded as Camarena comes up for the second time today. So a big spot in this game now for Nairn. Need to keep this one close. The Dodgers, who could not get on the board yesterday, have a chance to really get out to a commanding lead here in the second. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and the leadoff man coming up, Jeremy Camarena. Nairn kicks and fires, and paints the outside corner with a fastball, no balls and 1 strike. Nairn ready again, 0-1 the count. Here's his offering. That's another fastball right down Broadway for a strike. It's 0-2. And Camarena looks up at that scoreboard quickly behind in the count. What will Nairn go to for his 2-strike offering? Wants to stay out of the zone. What's the pitch? 0-2. It's the curveball, and it's tapped towards first base. Schmidt has it, underhand flip to Nairn in time for the out. And Nairn limits the damage. 1 run across for the Blues for the Dodgers on just 1 hit. A double by Casey Wood, and Ash Bibbies comes in to score on the air. We head to the bottom of the second inning, and for the Blues, it'll be 4-5-6. JT Ricken, Ryan Taman, and Trevor Schmidt coming to the plate. 4-5-6 due up for the Blues in the bottom of the second inning. JT Ricken, Ryan Taman, and Trevor Schmidt, and the Blues are chasing a run for the first time in 2023. It's 1-0 Dodgers after the unearned run scored in the top of the second for Coastal. And here's JT Ricken awaiting the pitch from Waits, and it's a fastball that misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Ricken yesterday had 2 RBI. Of the Blues' 5 runs, he knocked in 2, went 1 for 4 with a double. He looks at a 1-0 fastball too low, 2 balls and no strikes. Ricken, as we mentioned yesterday, was committed and signed to play at Oregon, but had a torn hamstring in the offseason. 2-0, misses out. Had to get PRP injection surgery, and after that, had to take a redshirt year at Oregon, was non-rostered, and still figuring out what he wants to do with his 2023 fall. 3-0. And Ricken takes a strike. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. But Ricken, a player that came out of high school, one of the top high school prospects in the Northwest. 3-1. There's a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Blues obviously see the talent. He's batted cleanup and DH the first 2 games for SLO. 3 balls, 2 strikes. What will Wait go to? It's a slider, and Ricken grounds it towards second. Ferguson has it bounce off his glove, and he chucks it off of the Blues dugout. The catcher White's over to pick it up. Ricken's trying for second, slides in, and he's safe. Ferguson commits an error and commits a second. He throws it past the first baseman Whip, and a runner in scoring position for the Blues with nobody out. 2 errors on the play by Ferguson. The first, he bobbled it. He was not going to get Ricken, and then he throws too high, and Ricken able to advance. Here's Ryan Taman trying to bring in a run and tie this game at 1 apiece. He takes a fastball a little bit outside, 1 ball, no strikes. 2 E4s allow JT Ricken to reach. He's at second for Ryan Taman, who swings and fouls it back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Taman yesterday, 0 for 2. The Blues didn't have many hits. What they did have was walked, 15 as a team, and Taman had 2. He was also hit by a pitch. 1 of 2 hit by pitches by the Dodgers pitching staff yesterday. The 1-1 offering. And Taman watches it fly back to the screen, past Weiss, the catcher. Ricken advances to third, and now the tying run is 90 feet away for the Blues here in the second. This was the problem yesterday for Coastal. Mistakes that allowed the Blues to reach base and extra mistakes that allowed them to advance. The one thing that they didn't do, really, was allow many back-breaking hits with runners on or runners in scoring position. 2-1 to Taman is a slider for a strike. It's 2-2. The Blues left copious amounts of runners on base yesterday, stranding bases loaded multiple times. 2-2, and Taman taps it foul to stay alive. The runner is Ricken at third. He reached on a pair of errors on the same play by Ferguson, the second baseman, and advanced on the wild pitch. Ryan Taman trying to bring him in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wait delivers, and Taman watches a curveball in the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count pitch on the way to Ryan Taman, the catcher heading to UC Berkeley. A local product. Just finished up his senior high school season. 3-2, and Taman taps it over the head of Waite. This is going to be a tough play for the shortstop, Camarena. He makes it in time, but the Blues score. It is 1-1 on the RBI ground out from Ryan Taman. The kid does his job, and this game's tied. And when the Blues score, the fans score, as alcoholic beverages are a lower price throughout the remainder of the inning, and you see a mass exodus of people leaving towards the beer stands here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Said it yesterday. Beer and baseball on a beautiful summer night. What more could you want? Here's the 1-0 pitch to Trevor Schmidt. It's in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Taman gets credit with the RBI. A good job to battle up with 2 strikes and bring a run across. And Trevor Schmidt, a hitter that the Dodgers never retired yesterday, ahead in the count 2-0. He takes a fastball down low. 3 balls and no strikes. Schmidt only had 1 hit. It was a single to right field, but 3 walks, and he was hit by a pitch. Moved up 1 spot in the order today on Dean Trainer's lineup card. 3-0. And another walk. Still yet to be retired by the Dodgers is Trevor Schmidt. He chucks his bat, heads down to first base, and the Blues have yet another base runner. That's the first walk of the day afforded by the Dodgers pitching. Now Jason Hansen making his Blues debut. Strides into the right-hand batter's box. The Yuba College Male Athlete of the Year this past season, and will take his talents to UC Davis next year to be a member of the Aggies. He's ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Hansen readies up, and Waite comes home from the stretch. Schmidt on the move, and he slides in, and the ball bounces back to the screen off the glove of Weiss. Stolen base for Trevor Schmidt. Guy playing first base for the Blues, not the speediest on the team, but he showed off the wheels there and steals a base to put himself in scoring position. The count moves to 2 balls and no strikes, and Jason Hansen has an RBI opportunity. Waite comes home 2-0, and Hansen taps it towards second. Ferguson's going to have to make a long throw. Comes in, throws sidearm in time to get Hansen. Advancing to third on the play is Trevor Schmidt, and now it'll have to be T.J. Adams, Schmidt's Arizona teammate. He's going to try and drive him in and give the Blues their first lead of the day.
Coming now for the Blues, number 8, the right fielder from the University of Arizona, T.J. Adams.
Adams, a guy with a lot of pop. Like Schmidt, he redshirted this past season at Arizona. So here's the 0-0 from Waite. And Adams unloads, but catches it off the end of the bat. Wood, the center fielder, comes in, dives, and can't make the catch. Adams was running all the way, and he stops at second with an RBI double. Blues have the lead 2-1. Adams caught it off the end of the bat, and from here it looked like it was going to be a routine play for Wood, but he broke back initially and did not have the speed to come in and make the diving catch right in front of him. Not the prettiest of hits, but Adams ends up with his first base knock as a Blue and his first RBI, and the Blues have a 2-1 lead here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The Dodgers led for the first time this series, and the Blues said, no, we'll take that. Back in front once again. Waite delivers to Judah Hill, the Arroyo Grande High School product, heading to play his junior season next year at AG, and ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Hill this past season at AG hit .286 as a sophomore, played varsity these last 2 seasons at Arroyo Grande. By far the youngest member of the Blues right now, but gets a start at second base, hitting in the 9th spot. Steve Tolley, the head coach at Arroyo Grande High School, on this Blues staff, must see something from the kid. 1 ball, no strikes. And Hill lines it back to the screen. It's 1-1. Adams doubled. He's at second. He knocked in his Wildcat teammate from Arizona, Trevor Schmidt. Those 2 permanent players for the Blues. Looking to be a fixture of this offense. 1-1. And Hill golfs it out towards left. Goebel, the left fielder, camps under it and does a little leap to make the one-hand catch. The Blues bring across 2 runs. We head to the top of the third with the Blues leading 2-1 here on the SLO Blues streaming network. 2 runs for the Blues in the bottom of the second, and they've got their first lead here today, looking for the first sweep of the 2023 season. It is 2-1, your San Luis Obispo Blues, and it's 2-3-4 due up for the Dodgers here in the top of the third against Alec Narin, Ryan Weiss, Cole Knightley, and Ash Bibbies coming to the plate for the men in blue. Narin peers in at Ryan Weiss, who he struck out the first time, and now Tiemann, the catcher, calls time. The Blues scored a couple ways last inning. Ricken reached base on a pair of errors, advanced on a wild pitch, and came in on an RBI ground down. Here's the 0-0. And a fastball misses upstairs. It is 1 ball and no strikes. Then Schmidt drew a walk, made his way around the bases before his Arizona teammate, TJ Adams, hit a bloop double to center. 1 ball, no strikes. And Weiss attacks the first strike he sees and flies it out to left. A sliding catch by Jason Hansen. He puts away the first out here in the top of the third. So 1 away, and that gives way to Cole Knightley, who struck out looking to end the first inning. He's one of 4 different Blues that have struck out against Narin so far. Big curveball misses upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes on Cole Knightley, playing at Colorado State Puebla. 1 ball, no strikes. And a fastball misses upstairs at 2-0. Nairn's been pretty efficient so far. Did a really good job to work around an error in the field behind him last inning and strand the bases loaded on a ground out to first. 2-0 pitch is flown into left. Hansen breaks back on it, now settles under it in the gap and makes the two-handed catch near that 380 marker in left field, and there's 2 away. Hansen's been busy so far today. That's now the second catch he's made this inning. Had to break back on the double by Casey Wood last inning. They always seem to say the ball finds you, especially when you're making your first appearance, and Hansen playing for the first time this season for the Blues. Been active. 0-0 fastball to Ash Bibbies is grounded to Augusto Schroeder off the mound. Long throw, and it's off the facing of the Blues dugout. Schmidt races after it, and Bibbies on his way into second base on another error by the Blues shortstop. That was a crazy play. Ricocheted off the mound. Seemed to be destined up the middle, but bounced it right to Schroeder. The same mistake he made last time on the ground ball by Riley Ryan. Just did not seem to have the accuracy on the arm and whipped it past Schmidt at first. So now a runner in scoring position for the Coastal Dodgers as they look to tie this game up, top 3. It's Cal Whip at the plate, headed to Pepperdine next year. Struck out his first time at the plate against Narin. And an 0-0 fastball is lined down the left field line. Is it fair? No, it bounces foul. Would have been trouble if it landed fair. As Whip gave it a ride but could not keep it within the confines of fair territory. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Now we wait for the ball to be collected down the left field line. Everyone's ready. And Narin, after adjusting his belt, is back on the rubber. Front foot a little bit offset in front of his back leg. He shakes once. Still looking for his sign from Tiemann. Shakes again. Very long hold as Narin is yet to come set. And now he steps off. So a long saga, and Narin still does not have the 0-1 sign he wants from Tiemann. Now he's got it. Comes set. No balls and 1 strike. Glove held at the belt. He kicks and fires. And misses outside with a slider. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. The runner is Bibbies at second base. He hit a rocket 1-hop grounder to Augusto Schroeder and then reached and advanced on the air. 1-1 pitch. Big curveball. It misses a little bit up, and the fans here at Sinsheimer don't like the call. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Now, really, it looked like a good pitch out of the hand of Narin. Has that 12-6 breaking action, but did not clip the top of the zone. 2-1 offering. Swing and a miss. Big fastball out of the hand of Narin. Just exploded past the bat of Cal Whip. And now Narin 1 strike away from getting out of the 3rd inning. And the Dodgers want to end it after potentially tying this game up. Naren comes set, looks back at second, strides and shoots. And a ground ball on 2 hops towards third. Tollerman comes up with it and throws all the way across the diamond to Trevor Schmidt at first base, and the side is retired. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the Blues will bring up the top of the order. Nin Burns, Augusto Schroeder, and Zach Tollerman leading 2-1 here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Top of the order due up for San Luis Obispo here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Nin Burns the second, Augusto Schroeder, and Zach Tollerman coming to the plate for your San Luis Obispo Blues with the 2-1 lead here at Sinsheimer Stadium. It's still Bradley Waite on the mound. He works out of the windup and kicks 0-0. And Burns, it's a high fly ball to left field. Goebel ranges into the gap, now dances around, camps under it, and makes the one-hand catch to retire Nin Burns. A quick 1-pitch out, and that's how this bottom of the 3rd gets started. I'd like to remind all you fans that Nate Mills, color analyst, will be joining me at the top of next inning. He'll stay through the bottom of the 7th. For now, it's Augusto Schroeder. Hit a ground ball to second his first time up. And he looks at a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. 1 out here, bottom of the 3rd inning. The Blues scored 2 runs last inning. Capitalize on a bloop double by TJ Adams. There's another fastball for a strike. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Bradley Waite saw his defense make a couple miscues behind him, but also threw a couple wild pitches. So he tries to work a little bit too quickly, and time is called behind home plate. Waite himself threw a couple pitches to the backstop that allowed the Blues to advance. 0-2. And a swing, Tapper towards third. Knightley has it on 2 hops, throws high, but Whip makes the catch in time to retire Augusto Schroeder. 2 quick outs for Bradley Waite here in the bottom of the 3rd. And now it'll have to be Zach Tollerman with 2 outs for San Luis Obispo. Tollerman struck out looking his first time up. Tried to check his swing and was a called strike. Here he checks his swing, but goes around at a low off-speed pitch. It's 0-1. Zach, the Western State Conference Player of the Year last year at Cuesta College. 0-1. And he bends back out of the way of a high fastball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Tollerman put up some pretty insane numbers at Cuesta last season. .367 batting average. 1-1. That's a slider that misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. In 150 at-bats, he had 9 home runs, 37 runs batted in. And the craziest part to me, walked 37 times, struck out just 16. Here's the 2-1 from Waite. And Tollerman checks his swing at a breaking ball too low and outside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. What that tells me, pitchers knew how well Tollerman hit the ball and did not want to throw him a strike. And he doesn't see a strike here. It's a 5-pitch walk for Tollerman and a 1-out or a 2-out base runner for the San Luis Obispo Blues, and Tollerman has his 3rd walk of this series. And JT Ricken comes to the plate now. He reached on a pair of errors on one play by Ferguson, the second baseman, and eventually came around to score the Blues' first run of the game. It's 2-1 San Luis Obispo here in the bottom of the third. Waite kicks and deals from the stretch, and Ricken goes the other way with a base hit. Tollerman's on his horse as Bibbies, the right fielder, comes up with it. Tollerman eventually stopped, and now he breaks towards third as the ball bounced past Bibbies. Runners at the corners, just 2 outs here for the Blues on a nice solid base hit from JT Ricken the other way. It's a single and an error on the right fielder Bibbies as Tollerman was going to stop at second, but the misplay out in right allowed him to advance the next 90 feet. That's the third error already for the Dodgers in this game. Here's Ryan Taman, had an RBI his first time up on a ground ball. And he takes the ball inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Blues have runners at the corners. One thing they weren't able to do yesterday was add on to their lead very well. Taman will look to do that with 2 outs. And he's plunked in the back with an off-speed pitch. Bases loaded with 2 outs for the Blues. And if you're the Coastal Dodgers, probably the last person you want to see coming to the plate in this situation. Trevor Schmidt has come to the plate 6 times for the Blues this season, and he has not gotten out once. He walked his first time up and scored on the Adams double in the second inning, and yesterday had 3 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and a single. We got a meeting at the mound to talk over this situation. There's nowhere to put Schmidt, and he's reached base via a free 90 5 times already this season. But for the Dodgers, that's not an option here unless they want to bring in another run for the Blues. The meeting at the mound comes to a close, and now Bradley Waite is going to have to find some way to get Trevor Schmidt out. Has not been an easy task so far in this series as the Blues go for their first sweep of 2023 in this 2-game set. Waite is ready, Schmidt is ready, and here comes this bases-loaded situation. Big spot already in the third. Waite from the windup, kicks and fires. And Schmidt nubs a line drive into right field, base hit. Here comes Tollerman to score. Right behind him is JT Ricken. Heading to third, Ryan Taman. A 2 RBI single for Trevor Schmidt. It's 4-1 San Luis Obispo. And a big hit for the Blues. Felt like they needed to crack that streak of leaving runners on base. And who do you turn to? Your best hitter so far this season, Trevor Schmidt. Come to the plate 7 times now. And he's reached base all 7. Picks up his first 2 runs batted in of the season. Really just a muscle swing out to right. And Waite isn't out of the woods yet. Here's Jason Hansen as Schmidt takes off for second. Hansen lines it into the gap in right center field. Bibby's over to cut it off. Another run in for the Blues. And Schmidt gets the stop sign at third. It's 5-1 San Luis Obispo. Station to station go the Blues as Jason Hansen picks up his first hit and first RBI for the Blues. And it's still first and third with 2 outs. Three runs here in the third for San Luis Obispo, and they're not done yet. Trevor Schmidt stands at third. Jason Hansen at first. Here's TJ Adams, and 2 RBI double his first time up. He takes a fastball for a strike. It's no balls and 1 strike on the redshirt freshman from Arizona. The Wildcats trying to figure out a way they did not get Adams and Schmidt on the field. As Adams checks his swing but goes around, and Jason Hansen takes second base uncontested. An 0-2 count now, but second and third, the base runners for the Blues. The Blues have another RBI base hit in them. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And Adams takes a fastball down low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 5-1 slow lead. They still have Schmidt at third, Hansen at second. Adams stands tall in the right-hand batter's box, wiggles that tan bat. Here's the 1-2. And Adams goes down swinging on the inside breaking ball. 3 runs for the Blues in the third. As we head to the top of the 4th inning, Nate Mills will join me. It's 5-1 slow. Top of the fourth here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The Blues off to a quick 5-1 lead, and Nate Mills joins me. Nate, what have you seen from this offense for the Blues today? Feels like a different squad.
Yeah, it definitely feels good to see the bats swinging in action, balls being put in play, putting pressure on the Dodger defense. You got guys on the base paths that's also putting pressure on the pitcher as well, and you're seeing it. He's hit by pitch. There's a lot of free bases happening as well, and that's something that the Blues have something to build off of. Definitely more exciting things happening from the San Luis Obispo offense today.
We mentioned 15 walks for the Blues yesterday, and there haven't been as many today. There's been a hit by pitch, 1 or 2 walks, but it's been more hits. They've got more hits today through 3 innings than they did all of yesterday, and they got a 5-0 win yesterday, but only 3 hits on the day. Now you've got 4 hits, you have 5 runs, and you're giving your pitcher, a young guy, Alec Narin, who just finished his senior year of high school, all of a sudden he looks up and he's got a 4-run lead.
Yeah, in terms of their pitching, Bradley Way has been finding the zone a lot more, and I think that's why the Blues have been able to put more bats on balls.
A big curveball from Narin that misses outside, 1-1. Narin's had some of the strikeout stuff that we saw yesterday. The Blues K'd 17. And so far, Narin has 4 strikeouts through 3 innings.
Yeah, Narin's fastball has been the most effective pitch today. That's the one he said he was most comfortable with when I talked with him before the game.
1-1 fastball misses inside. A little too much juice on that one. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. But you're right. He looks really comfortable in that. He has a 4-pitch mix. Fastball, changeup, curveball, slider, but really featuring the hard stuff today. And I think he's kind of feeling like if they're not hitting me right now with the fastball, I'm not going to go to the other pitches.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been seeing that through the first few innings of him just attacking with that fastball. He'll mix in the curveball a little bit, but doesn't really need to. He throws a changeup right there. But mostly fastball, curveball mix for Narin here.
Here, the second time through the lineup, this is Cal Whip with Casey Wood on deck, Riley Ryan in the hole. Middle of the order. And a 3-2 fastball grounded past the third base bag and foul as Tollerman comes up with it past the white chalk line. The count will stay 3 balls and 2 strikes. Whip his first time up, one of the 4 strikeout victims of Narin. But he's pitching to contact, and sometimes he's not getting hit, but there have been some balls put in play. One miscue made behind him out in left field doesn't go down as an error, but then the error at short. Here's another payoff, and a fastball misses high. That's something we had not seen yet, was too many free 90s allowed by Narin, but Whip starts off this frame with a walk.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the game right now is the free 90s led up by Coastal Dodgers. You've seen it right now. You're talking about the contact a little earlier. The contact has not been great for the Dodgers. A lot of fists, a lot of balls off the end, some firewood happening. He lets up a walk here, though.
And now Casey Wood, who doubled his first time up, takes a changeup down low. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, and he's just got to find that middle ground right now. Narin's missing low with that changeup, sometimes with the fastball too, and then he'll heave a fastball with the catcher has to stand up. He's got to find that middle ground again.
1-0. There's a check swing. Did he go? Yes, the appeal at first. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. That changeup started in the middle of the zone, ended in the bottom half of the zone, produced a check swing. That's what you want.
Casey Wood at the dish and a 1-1 count. Pick goes to first, and Whip is back in safe. One thing I've noticed from the Dodgers through these first 2 games, I don't feel as if they're chasing all that much, but the Blues are just getting whiffs in the strike zone, which is something you normally do not see.
They are, yeah. The first 2 outings for the Blues here have been.
As Wood lines one into the left center field gap, it drops for a base hit. Hansen and Burns converge, and it's Hansen that picks it up, tosses it to second. Quick 2 base runners here.
Yeah, bad timing there on my part. The Blues pitchers have been making pitches the past 2 games. So far, it's unfolding a little bit here in the top of the 4th. Got some pressure on with runners on first and second here, and no outs. All Josh Ferguson really has to do is just poke it through the right side. You talk about this in batting practice all the time. Coaches will intentionally set up a situation just like this and work on it, and the Dodgers actually did it today.
Ferguson takes a fastball for a strike.
Yeah, and that's the pitch you do it on right there. That's a pitch outer half of the zone. Big hole there in right center. The Blues were utilizing it in the last inning. Now it's the Dodgers' turn if they want to get some runs on the board.
Narin comes set, looks back at second. Now he'll come home 0-1. And a high pop-up. Is it in play for the catcher, Taman? Coming back to the netting, he lunges for it and can't make the catch right in that dirt outcrop near the backstop. The count moves to no balls and 2 strikes, but a second life for Josh Ferguson. For the Dodgers right now, trailing by 4 runs, it's Casey Wood at second. He walked and advanced on the single by Riley Ryan, who stands at first.
Yeah, and that's one of the tougher plays to make as a catcher right there. Taman, you got to throw off the mask. You got to stand up. It's a weird angle, especially when it's hit directly on top of you. Tough play there for a catcher.
No balls, 2 strikes. Narin figuring out what sign he wants. Now he has it, comes home, and hits the outside zone with a fastball. Strike 3 called. The 5th strikeout for Alec Narin, and there's the first out here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Way too close to take there for Josh Ferguson. Got to capitalize with that runner on second. And like I mentioned earlier, that's the pitch that you want to work with if you're trying to go the other way. Make a tough throw for the right fielder going from right to third. One of the farthest throws, if not the farthest throw in baseball.
Here's Eric Goebel, who swings the first pitch he sees, pops it up down the third base line, and Tollerman gives it chase, but lets it fly off the concrete behind the stands here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The kids give it a chase. Not exactly sure who ends up with it. Someone's jumping around up and down like they just got a souvenir. In the count, no balls and 1 strike.
I want to see Narin go back to this changeup here with that right on left matchup we're seeing right now. I think seeing that changeup start in the middle of the zone and fade away in the outer half, probably not even for a strike, to get Eric Goebel to swing at it, I think that'll be super effective for him on this at bat.
Looks like he went with the fastball again, missed low. We've seen that curveball a couple times. It's been primarily to right-handed hitters. And Goebel, the lefty who walked his first time up with 2 runners on, takes a curveball upstairs. It's 2-1.
Yeah, and that curveball has that effect that I'm talking about with the changeup on the left-handers is tailing away from you. The curveball more bites, but it's the same thing, going away from the bat of the hitter.
2-1. Swing and a miss. Real long-arm swing from Eric Goebel, the left fielder at Cornell College in Iowa. Now finds himself even in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Narin aiming for a 6th strikeout. We're trying to roll a double play on the ground. He strides and shoots, and Goebel sends it the other way right to Hansen, who makes the catch, lobs it back in to the shortstop Augusto Schroeder, and there's 2 away.
Goebel doing a good job putting that ball into play. Sort of an uncomfortable swing there, but we saw the pitch prior that Narin threw that changeup I was talking about, proven very effective. Want him to go back to that if he is to see another left-handed hitter.
Jeremy Camarena coming up for the 3rd time in 4 innings, leadoff hitter for the Dodgers, and he stranded the bases loaded his last time at the plate. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back into the glove of Taman, 0-1. Camarena popped up his first time and then grounded out to first. That was back in the 2nd when the Dodgers scored 1 run, threatened to score some more, but really good job by Narin to get Camarena to ground out. Similar spot here, and a pick goes to second, and Narin throws it into center field. Off the glove of Hill, the second baseman. Both runners advance, and the Dodgers put the stop sign on at third. Back pick goes there, and Tollerman can't put the tag down. An error on the pitcher. Narin just tossed it right into center field, and both runners advance. It's now 2 in scoring position for Camarena.
Yeah, and that's just flat-out communication. You got to be communicating with your middle infielder there. If you're going to back pick or not, you got to have some signs, some form of recognition.
And it looked like Hill was expecting the throw, but it was behind him, almost as a wide receiver going over the middle of the field gets the throw behind him from the quarterback. As Camarena checks his swing, 0-1, and did not go around. 1 ball, 1 strike. But that's a costly mistake. Now 2 runners in scoring position as the Dodgers really want to try and get back in this game and keep it close. Right now it's 5-1 Blues, but 2 potential RBI standing out there for Camarena. He fists the 1-1 towards third. Tollerman plays it in, throws to first in time to get Camarena by just a step. And again, Alec Narin works around a couple of defensive miscues behind him and strands 2 runners. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is still 5-1 Blues. New pitcher in for the Dodgers. It's Rafael Shirella, the redshirt freshman from Allen Hancock Community College. The lefty stands 6'3", 180 pounds, and he's the second option for the Dodgers today. Final line on Bradley Waite. 3 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, 5 runs that the Blues have on the scoreboard. Only 4 of them were earned. He struck out 2 Blues, and he walked 2 as well. But now you get another look at a lefty, and Nate, it feels like just about every at-bat that the Blues have had this series has been against a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah, let's talk about Rafael Shirella, the kid from down the street. He's got a 2-seam fastball, a slider, and a 4-seam fastball. Doesn't necessarily blow you away with speed, but the movement on all those pitches is what makes him effective as a pitcher.
Judah Hill, the 9-hole hitter, to start off the inning, then back to the top of the lineup in Nin Burns and Augusto Schroeder. Here's the first offering to Hill, and that's that big slurve almost. On the inside corner for a strike. Judah Hill, his first time up, flew out to left. He fists a pop-up back and off the screen. It's quickly no balls and 2 strikes.
Got to be careful with that slurve right there. If you start it in the top of the zone, it's going to end right in the middle. Those hitters are going to wait, watch, and whack it.
0-2. Looked like the fastball a little bit low. Hill, as we mentioned earlier, definitely the youngest guy on this field. Just finished up his sophomore year of high school at Arroyo Grande. 1-2. And Hill chops it to first. Whip has to play it on one big hop. Grabs a short hop, throws, and a bare hand snag by the new pitcher Shirella in time to get Hill. A miracle play at first, and there's one away.
Wow, great grab by Shirella right there. Good job getting over to first as well. He was there in plenty of time to make that play. And obviously making it with your bare hands. That's instincts right there. That's athleticism. Great play by Shirella. And I like that at-bat from Judah Hill. I liked his last at-bat, too. The young kid being aggressive at the plate.
Here's Nin Burns, 0-2. Takes a fastball low. I feel like that play is one that you try 1,000 times, and you only get it once. And luckily for Shirella, he gets it with about 1,500 fans in the stands to watch him do it. 1-0 curveball to Burns in there.
Yeah, that's a play in practice. If you're doing that, if you're doing PFPs, which is that drill where you chop him in front of the pitcher, you got to make the throw to first. That's when where coach gets a little upset at you.
Don't try anything tricky. Here's a ground ball on one hop to short. Burns runs well, and he beats out the high throw. A base hit for Nin Burns and speed on the base paths for the Blues here in the bottom of the 4th.
Nin Burns flying down the line there. Gives him a chance to reach first safely. First baseman's got to jump up there and make the play. Whip just couldn't come down in time as Burns beat him at the race, in the foot race. He's safe at first, and another steal threat, and which means another run threat for San Luis Obispo.
Burns gets his lead. And it's Augusto Schroeder at the plate that takes the ball 1-0. You mentioned Burns' speed. 20 for 20 on stolen bases at Cal Poly Pomona, and he snagged 3 bags in the season opener yesterday. 1-0 pitch. Check swing on a fastball inside, in there for a strike. We were talking with Burns as we walked in today, parked right behind us in the parking lot, and I said, was that enough for you? He's like, no way. I think he might shoot for 7 or 10 here today. 1 ball, 1 strike. Burns does not go, and the slurve bounces past the catcher Weiss, and Burns, who hesitated, retreats back to first base.
Yeah, Weiss was anticipating Burns to go on that ball, and I think he should have. You got to get a better read right there if you're Burns and swipe second base. Give Schroeder an opportunity to possibly move him over. Schroeder having some frustrations today, grounding out twice. He just is looking for a hole. Can't seem to find it yet, which is a good sign. That means he's right there if you're starting off the day with a ground ball.
A pick to first, and it gets by the first baseman Whip. Burns is rounding around second, and he gets the stop sign at third, and a 180-foot mistake from the new pitcher Rafael Shirella. And now 90 feet away stands another potential run for the Blues.
Yeah, and there's a free one. 2 free ones you could count. 2 free 90s right there for the Blues. Sets up Schroeder nicely for just putting the ball in play. He can have an RBI grind out here. 1 out. Ball on the ground. You're going immediately as the runner on third base.
Fastball misses upstairs. And Augusto Schroeder did have an RBI yesterday, and love to hear the reasoning from Dean Traynor, but moved him from 8 to 2 in the batting order. Ahead in the count, 3 balls, 1 strike with Nin Burns at third. And he takes a vicious hack and an inside fastball, catches our home plate umpire. Now everyone will give him a chance to breathe as the count moves full.
It's exciting as a hitter to get 3-1, especially with a runner in scoring position and a fast one at that. Gets a little too antsy there, flies open, misses that fastball right there. But he'll get another hack at it, 3-2.
How much of a trooper are umpires? Not the easiest job in the world when you're taking, nearly 90 to 100 mile an hour foul balls off the mask, but bounces right back up. And everyone's ready for the 3-2. In Burns at third, 1 out as the Blues look to add to their 5-1 lead. Schroeder wiggles his bat behind his helmet. And here's the payoff pitch. And there's the slurve, popped up behind short. Camarena calls for it, right on the outfield grass, makes the catch, and there's 2 away.
Man, Schroeder is just so close to breaking through in this game and just finding a hole. Sure, once he goes back into the dugout, the coaches won't have much to complain about because he's putting the bat on the ball. He's swinging at good pitches. Maybe just got to dial that swing in just a little bit more if he wants to find a gap.
And one thing for fans to remember is this is still very early in the summer. Second game of the year, everyone's getting their bottoms under them, trying to figure out how to work through this summer, refining the approach that maybe you've had a week or 2 off. You went from your strict college program and maybe letting off a little steam as summer comes on and trying to redial back in. Here's Tollerman still looking for his first hit for the Blues. He takes a changeup low, 2 balls and no strikes. Tollerman, I'm not sure if he ever had a stretch at Cuesta this season where he had this many at-bats without coming up with a hit. He's walked 3 times, but the Western State Conference Player of the Year wants to break through with the bat. He takes a 2-0 fastball for a strike.
Good placement on that fastball right there on Tollerman.
Tollerman, big guy, 6'5", trying to punch through the zone the last 2 days in batting practice. And really good eye on that inside slurve. It's 3-1.
Yeah, with that 6'5" frame, you definitely don't want to get that frame extended on a fastball outer half of the zone. You can see Sciarella working on him inside.
Tall guys like to hit low, though, so watch out for that slurve. 3-1. And Tollerman draws another walk, his 5th in the last 2 games, and he's aboard with 2 outs. Runners at the corners, and here comes J.T. Ricken, who's reached base twice today.
J.T. Ricken staying hot, seeing the ball well. Has another opportunity to do it here, the Oregon Duck.
And Oregon's got a big game today. Ricken, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, had to take a redshirt year this year because of injury. But Oregon playing in the Pac-12 Tournament Championship tonight against Arizona. 0-0 pitch is a slurve that gets back to the backstop, and Burns comes in to score with ease. It's 6-1 Blues as Tollerman trails him to second base. And another free 90 given up. Tollerman takes off for third, and he's in there.
Man, got to pay attention. Can't hang your heads just quite yet on a pass ball like that. And that's just excellent heads-up base running by Tollerman right there to swipe third. When they're moving slowly like that, the good base runners will observe what's happening on the infield, and they'll swipe a bag if you're not looking.
On 1 ball, give up 90 feet to Burns, give up a run, and then 180 feet to Tollerman. And now Ricken takes a fastball for a strike. For the Dodgers, it's been this sort of sloppy weekend. They're getting their season started as well, but too many walks, wild pitches, pass balls, mental lapses. As Ricken taps the 1-1 curveball off his own foot, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. 6-1, the Blues lead. More runs and hits than yesterday. Blues did win in a shutout, but they only had 3 hits. Here they've got 5, couple errors made by the visiting Coastal Dodgers. Still not out of this inning, as Sciarella has to look in at Ricken, 1-2. He kicks and fires, and Ricken fights it off down the right field line out of play.
Good job fighting by Ricken right there, adjusting with 2 strikes, stepping up in the box a bit, widening that stance.
Runs in the last 3 innings for the Blues, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 here in the fourth, and they're not done. 1-2 pitch, and Ricken watches it fly too high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we were talking about Oregon and Arizona, Pac-12 Tournament Championship, there's 3 hitters from those 2 schools in the Blues lineup tonight. I wonder if there was some jawing in the pregame. As Ricken grounds the 2-2 back up the middle, just past the second base bag. Another run in for the Blues, and an RBI single by J.T. Ricken makes it 7-1.
Ricken collecting barrels, which lead to base hits tonight. He's got 3 singles on the night, and just a classic ground ball up the middle for Ricken. Great job bringing in the run home for some situational hitting, especially in a 2-strike count. That's a very mature at bat right there.
And Tollerman scores, make it 7-1. Here's Ryan Taman, hit by a pitch his last time. Back pick to first, and Ricken's back in standing.
Ricken, a running threat. Talked with him before the game. At his best, his 60-yard dash, 6.4 seconds at the area code games in high school. Although I asked him now what it would be if I asked him at this very moment. Said it would probably be 6'6", 6'7", but added on some muscle while up in Eugene and added some power to his game, but says he'd rather have speed than power.
I think he'll take base hits and go from there. A couple base knocks for him today, and picked up an RBI there, as now Ryan Taman in the driver's seat, 2 balls and 1 strike. He has an RBI today. That was back in the second on a ground out. He waits on a curveball, slaps it into right field, but it hangs up for Bibbies, and he makes the catch. 2 more runs in for the Blues here in the bottom of the 4th. We head to the top of the 5th at 7-1. San Luis Obispo coming up for the Coastal Dodgers. Ryan Weiss, Cole Knightley, and Ash Bibbies.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
So we have 6 hits, they have 1 error. My bad. We're back here on the SLO Blues streaming network. It's Alec Narin that's still out for the San Luis Obispo Blues, who have extended their lead these last 3 innings. Really dominant by the Blues offense. It's 7-1. And now Narin looks in at 2-3-4 in this Dodgers lineup.
Good to see some length out of Narin here. The freshman going to Pepperdine this year, trying to walk on. Good to see some length out of him.
Trying to get a win, trying to complete this 5th inning here. And his first pitch to Ryan Weiss, the catcher at Santa Barbara Community College, is in there for a strike. Here in the top of the 5th, Weiss has come up 2 times earlier in this game, and he's struck out and flown out. Bounces a changeup, and it's 1-1.
Narin living in the lower half of the strike zone all game today. Continues to do so the first 2 pitches here in the 5th.
He's worked out of some jams as well. Bases loaded and runners at the corners. Big rocket down the left field line, but foul off the bat of Weiss. Now he's just trying to straighten that one out. That was lit up the exit velocity chart.
Yeah, he's feeling good there. I don't think Narin wants to go back to that spot again. Probably try that changeup. Try that slider here on Weiss. See if he'll go after it.
Looking for a strikeout, maybe a rollover. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch on the way. He does go to the breaking ball, and it misses low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's the right idea there. He just missed it a little bit. I know it looks a little worse than it was if you're a fan, but trying to go for that effect. Going for the chase out of Weiss.
2-2 misses out, and the count moves full. The Blues have scored in each of the last 3 innings, and crooked numbers every time. 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 2 last inning in the fourth. Naren's payoff. He misses inside with a fastball and issues his 3rd walk of the game. That's more than the Blues had last night. They only walked 2 hitters. The runner at first base now with nobody out. Here on the top of the 5th inning, and up steps Cole Knightley.
And that was a close pitch right there. Weiss kind of got a call. That fastball thought it clipped the inner part of the zone.
Oh, well. Fastball low again. You're right, he's attacking the lower part of the zone. Just missing, it seems. But you'd rather miss low than miss over the heart of the plate or miss too high or miss too far inside. 1-0 on the way. That one misses out.
Yeah, showing low or missing low is definitely showing more confidence than when you're missing high. When you're missing high, that's the telltale of no control. You're not getting the right grip on the ball. Kind of just tossing it up there, hoping it lands in the mitt. When you're low, seems like you're trying to hit a spot more. A lot more confident in your pitches.
The Blues have A.J. Moreno in the bullpen, the right-hander out of Cal Poly Pomona. He's getting ready. So Naren could be facing his last couple batters here in the 5th. 2-0. That's a fastball, and he gets a whiff. In the zone, it's 2 balls and 1 strike. The Shadows, again, as we mentioned yesterday, maybe making things a little bit uncomfortable for these hitters. It won't change much on a fastball because you're not trying to really read the seams on a fastball, but those off speeds could be tough to pick up. It's not if there's shadows all over, as we were talking about yesterday, but if the shadows start on the mound and then it goes into a patch of sunlight, and then now it's even going back into the shadows, it's just a different kind of lighting that you're seeing in every different time as the pitch comes towards the plate.
So much added deception with the Shadows. Hated playing at this time as a player for that exact reason.
2-2. And a tapper foul. A check swing would have been strike 3. It just bounces over the head of Taman the catcher, and the count stays even at 2-2. Was there any kind of adjustment you can make as a hitter? Do you try and eliminate a pitch? Only just look for a fastball?
There wasn't necessarily anything with the pitch you did. You could wear sunglasses, I would say, but it still would be in the shadow, and then that would be too dark. Kind of just have to be an athlete.
Doesn't seem like an easy thing to fix. I guess that's how you weed out and figure out who the real true hitters are. Another 3-2 count, the second so far in this inning. We'll see if the Dodgers send Weiss at first. 3-2. Swing and a tapper towards third. Tollerman goes to second for 1. A low throw. The first is not in time as Knightley got down the first base line pretty quickly. But good job by Tollerman to get 1 out as the Blues try to turn 2.
Yeah, and Tollerman's got to get that ball out of his glove quicker. As an infielder, he had it too deep in his pocket, and you don't want it sitting in your pocket for too long. You almost want it hitting your palm just so you can get it out of the hand quicker. Ricken did a great job of turning it. Not Ricken. Hill did a good job of turning it, but Tollerman just took a little too long to get that throw to second.
There's a strike to Ash Bibbies. Hit by pitch and scored his first time up. The lone run for the Dodgers here today, and then hit into an error by Augusto Schroeder back in the third. Picked to first, not in time. Now the Shadows, I feel like we were just talking about how there were shadows over some part, and now the entire field is covered in shadows, and it happened just kind of in the blink of an eye.
Happens here in SLO. It gets over those mountains, and all of a sudden it's dark. It's a completely different time of the day. The weather changes as well.
And we'll see if the hitters start to pick things up for the Dodgers. As there's a liner down the left field line. Hooking, fair ball. It bounces up off the Rourke family sign near the 335 marker in left. Coming up with it is Hansen, the left fielder. His throw goes into Schroeder. What an RBI double off the bat of Ash Bibbies, and it's 7-2.
Great job by Ash Bibbies right there. He finds a barrel down the left field line, squares it up, has good speed. Knightley's got some good speed, so does Bibbies. They trade places.
So cutting into the Blues lead. Maybe it was the Shadows. As right as the Shadows go away, the Dodgers come up with an RBI double. That's their third hit of the day. And now Cal Whipp, who's headed to Pepperdine next year, is coming up. There's a curveball down low. Whipp has struck out swinging today and grounded out to third. 1-0 pitch from Narin is a fastball low, 2 balls and no strikes, and maybe the pristine command is wearing off for Narin here in the 5th.
But it's still good to see Narin trying for that part of the zone. He's not abandoning his plan that quickly. It's a good sign for the Blues and for Narin.
2-0 pitch. That's in there for strike 1. 1 run across here in the 5th for the Dodgers. It's now 7-2 Blues. I feel like the offense is clicking a little bit more than they were last night, where there were only 7 combined hits between these two squads. Fastball misses out, 3 balls and 1 strike. Maybe one more walk or one more base runner, and head coach Dean Traynor, pitching coach Brian Traynor might turn to the pen.
Yeah, absolutely. They may turn to the pen soon. Getting a little shaky, but I'm still liking what I'm seeing out of Narin. We'll see on this at-bat what happens.
He misses upstairs with a fastball. Another walk. That's the second of the inning. He's gotten 1 out on the fielder's choice, but that's 3 base runners allowed here in the 5th. And Narin, who still had a really good start so far today, is going to catch a visit from Dean Traynor coming out of the first base dugout. And I had a chance to talk with new head coach Dean Traynor before the first game of the season. And I mean, this is a big deal for him, obviously being from his hometown, but he's seen it all in baseball. He's been a AAA manager. He's got a World Series ring from when the Marlins won in 2003. Most recently, managed Team China in the World Baseball Classic. Here he takes the ball from Alec Narin, who gave the Blues some pretty solid work but could not get out of the 5th. We're going to take a break here on the SLO Blues streaming network before we introduce the new pitcher. It's 7-2 Blues. We welcome you back to Sinsheimer Stadium on the SLO Blues streaming network. New arm in for the Blues is A.J. Moreno. And Nate, what can you tell us about the right-hander?
A.J. Moreno, the Bronco out of Cal Poly Pomona, has been a reliever for most of his career there. He's in his 4th season, or he's a 4th-year junior, I should say. Made a transition into the starting position last year. So far in warm-ups, we're seeing him showcase the slider here. He's also another 2-seam guy, another 4-seam fastball. Similar look coming out of the pen as compared to Narin. Got a little more velo, it looks like, though. So he could be challenging hitters a lot more than that fastball. Narin started out with that, but then went to the changeup and curveball a little later in the game. But Moreno is definitely a candidate to attack the Dodger hitters with that fastball.
That's really what Narin wasn't able to do here in the 5th. He walked 2, gave up the double down the line to Bibbies. It seemed like the wheels were falling off a little bit, and Dean Traynor went out to fetch his freshman right-hander, and now he turns to really a veteran in A.J. Moreno, a 4.47 earned run average this past season. Tossed 44 1/3 innings pitched, the most he's ever thrown for the Broncos.
Yeah, you're going on completely different ends of the spectrum here. You got a really young kid and Narin coming in to start the game, and Moreno with tons of experience under his belt. This is the guy you want to see coming out of the pen and get out of a jam like this.
Casey Wood, 1 for 1 with a double and a walk. Takes a fastball that misses upstairs. And Wood at Santa Barbara Community College, yet to be retired today. Naren didn't get him, and now he gets his first shot at Moreno. 2 runners on. The Blues have a 5-run lead. Moreno looks at second, kicks and fires. Both runners on the move, and a foul ball off the mask of Tiemann and towards the Blues dugout, 1-1. A double steal, really rare that you see these days, and then really testing the arm of Tiemann.
Looked like a hit-and-run call right there, because that's a pitch I don't think Wood usually swings at. And when you're calling a hit-and-run like that, got to swing at the pitch to mess up the catcher, and you're sending guys.
Got to swing no matter what. Long hold, 1-1 on the way. And Wood spoils it backwards. Tiemann, we saw yesterday, he did throw out a runner, made a perfect throw to second. The Dodgers also did steal 1 base against him, so he's 1 for 2 when it comes to trying to catch runners on the move. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 runners on. Moreno kicks and fires. Runners on the move again. Throw to third. In time. Bibbies is sniped down at third by Ryan Tiemann. And now there's 2 outs here in the inning. A gift from the Dodgers to the Blues. And now Moreno just needs 1 more strike, and the Blues are out of this frame.
And that there was a double steal. We didn't see a swing out of Wood. Tollerman making a great tag on the play. Although I would like it a little better if I'm Coach Dean Trainer if he got that tag on his foot rather than his chest. Leave no doubt out there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Moreno's 1 pitch away. Here it is. Perfect slider, just misses. Not sure if that was low or outside, but Moreno does not get the call, and the count moves full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
God, that was a great pitch.
Well, not sure if they're going to run on Tiemann again with the kind of velocity we've seen out of his arm. 2-out payoff pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. Moreno comes in, does his job with help from his backstop as we head to the bottom of the 5th. It's 7-2 Blues after the Dodgers get 1 more run. Coming up for SLO, Trevor Schmidt, Jason Hansen, and TJ Adams when we come back on the San Luis Obispo Blues streaming network. Howdy from Sinsheimer Stadium. It's 7-2 Blues, and it's Trevor Schmidt, Jason Hansen, and TJ Adams due up against Rafael Shirella, who comes in. You can close the book on the line for Alec Naren. He went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, a couple of walks, 2 runs, 2 earned, and struck out 5 Dodgers. Did not quite make it, Nate, enough to try and get a win his first start for the Blues, but gave him some length, exactly what Dean Trainer and this coaching staff could have asked for, as Trevor Schmidt backs out of the way of a high fastball, and the count 1 ball and no strikes.
Still a good outing for Naren there. Liked what I saw from him, keeping that fastball and all of his pitches lower in the zone. Good stuff out of the young kid, looking to walk on at Pepperdine.
Trevor Schmidt, who's up at the plate now, has reached base both times he's come up today, has a walk and a single, and in fact, he's not been retired yet by Dodgers pitching. And he's ahead in the count here, 3 balls and no strikes. So far on the season, it's 2 singles for Schmidt, 4 walks, and a hit by pitch. And I'm almost starting the counter now is how many times can Schmidt come up without getting out? And you increase it by 1 as he draws a 4-pitch walk.
There you go, another walk for Schmidt. And I want to elaborate a little more what I said yesterday about how walks lead to slugging. And Schmidt can do both. When you get walks, that means you're having a good eye. You're not swinging at pitches out in the zone. The pitchers aren't throwing an out pitch, which is that pitch obviously to use to get the hitter out. It's usually a breaking ball or a fastball out in the zone that the hitter can't get to. And when you're not swinging at those, the pitchers have to get in the zone. And when you're getting in the zone, you're getting your pitch and you're slugging. And so we could see Trevor Schmidt slugging here very soon. Stay tuned.
He's got to get a pitch to hit as Hansen looks at the first strike of this inning, and the count moves to 1-1 Jason Hansen, the Yuba College Male Athlete of the Year this past season, posted a .958 OPS in all 38 games played at Yuba. And a pitch in the dirt, Schmidt takes off for second, and he takes the bag with ease as the count moves to 2-1. A runner moves into scoring position for SLO.
Difference in tonight's game and last night's game, the ability to keep the dirt ball in front of you. Seen a lot of bases taken by the ball getting past the catcher. Got to correct that for the Dodgers.
2-1. And Hansen taps it backwards for strike number 2. Hansen basically led Yuba College in every offensive statistical category this past season. And the 49ers, they only went 9-29, but they did win 7 games in conference. 2-2. And Hansen lines it right to the shortstop, Camarena, and Schmidt's going to be doubled off. Camarena steps on the bag, and a double play for the Dodgers.
Nothing you can do there if you're Schmidt. That ball is laced. Looks like it's going to get over shortstop's head, and it just doesn't, and it's dead to rights. All you got to do is really flip it to second base. There's nothing you can do there for Schmidt, and really frustrating for Hansen there because he does a good job barreling it up. It's just right at the shortstop for an out. Double play.
And a curveball in the dirt. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now Schmidt took off for third. Is the rule that you're supposed to pause? Is it that you're supposed to go back? Or is that one where it really doesn't matter? You really have no shot.
You really have no shot, but you got to look in and see. But he had no shot there. You're kind of dead to rights.
Well, with the amount of balls that have been in the dirt back to the screen, these Blues hitters have real big leads when they get on base. And so Schmidt was basically halfway to second with the kind of lead that he was on. And I think you're right that at that point it really didn't matter what he did. Now, he did make the move towards third, which maybe he'll get a talk in the dugout about, hey, we want you to freeze or go back. But I think with how far he was off the bag, it might not have really mattered.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. They're talking about in the dugout. They're seeing all the balls in dirt. And they're just taking off at the sight of that. But really, there's not much you can do when you're chugging head down to third base. And it's just a heater coming off the bat. All the shortstop really has to do is just flip it to second.
Here's TJ Adams, redshirted Arizona this year. An RBI double his first time at the plate, and now he's ahead in the count. 3 balls, 1 strike. I'm not sure there's really a better feeling as a pitcher. I mean, maybe a strikeout, but giving up a real hard line drive and then having it miraculously turn into 2 outs.
Definitely satisfying.
As there's a rope on the ground right past Knightley, the third baseman, and it bounces off Goebel, the left fielder. Another base hit for TJ Adams. That's the Blues' 7th of the day, and it's Adams' 2nd.
TJ Adams seeing it well. The Wildcat gets his 2nd base hit of the day, sparking maybe 2-out rally here for San Luis Obispo.
Adams didn't get the start yesterday, didn't appear, but him and Schmidt, 2 players coming from Arizona, and Adams, maybe the most power we've seen so far as he takes off for second. Here's the throw down into center field. Adams springs up, but he stays at second base as the ball bounces off the knee of Wood. Combination of power and speed for TJ Adams, and he swipes a bag.
Good field by TJ Adams right there. I was just about to mention that he should probably go on this pitch. They're starting to recognize his timing, the pitcher's timing, and Sharella, UCLA. That's how you read it if you're a player. Once the hands come down, you go UCLA, and you can see that the pitchers are starting to catch up on it a little bit. He doesn't variate it that much, doesn't change that much.
Is it UCLA just because it's a 4 count?
Yes.
Can we call it something else? I mean, I go to USC, so I'm not actively trying to insert the Bruins anywhere they don't need to be. But it's an 0-2 count on Judah Hill, the rising junior at Arroyo Grande High School. And he pops it up foul right back off the facing of the press box. Who's going to get it as the kids scramble for a souvenir?
Especially on a left-hander, it's first movement. You see that foot come up, got to go.
We'll see if he takes off for third. The Blues have been aggressive on the base paths. 0-2, runner goes, and Hill lines it past the third baseman Knightley. Adams gets the wave around. He's coming in to score. It's 8-2 Blues as the kid picks up an RBI.
Judah Hill, fantastic situational hitting. He barrels up a changeup into the 5.5 hole. Brings home TJ Adams all the way from second base.
You called it, 2-out rally. Seemed like after the double play, the Blues were dead to rights in this inning. Instead, they've scored for the fourth straight frame. And here in the bottom of the fifth, it's now 8-2. As Adams singled and then advanced a couple bases, Judah Hill, the rising junior, comes up with another base hit. And here's Nin Burns. He takes a big hack on an inside fastball. Catches nothing but air as the count moves to 0-1.
Nin Burns is feeling it. He wants to be the guy to add on more runs. Love to see that.
Still looking for a home run in this 2023 Blues season. 0-1. And misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Burns' guy has a little bit of power. We've talked about the speed. That's obviously the main trait. But he hit 5 home runs at Cal Poly Pomona this year.
Had one in batting practice today.
Big pop and speed. And he fans through that low curveball. For the Blues, it's been really a lot of singles. In fact, they had the double yesterday that was a grounder down the line. Adams has a double today, the lone extra base hit, but that was a flare to center that the center fielder Wood was just playing too far back. We've seen some nice, solid contact and situational hitting, but no one has really driven the ball for the Blues yet this season.
And again, I think this is something the team is working on. Sat in BP today, sat out in right field, and all the right fielders were really getting the work in. This is something you don't really see that much when you're shagging out in BP. It's kind of like, you still got to work on something. But I couldn't even sit down and talk with them. It'd be one guy after the other trying to make a play in right, and they were all well-hit balls. And that's something really important that Dean is teaching these players here in the summer for the Blues.
2-2. And Burns goes down swinging on another breaking ball. But the Blues score once again. It is now 8-2 Blues as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Here on the SLO Blues streaming network, coming up next, it'll be Riley Ryan, Josh Ferguson, and Eric Goebel in this 8-2 ball game. Fly tennis balls. Try and land it in the bucket. The tennis ball toss in between innings. If someone makes it in that Ace Hardware bucket, they get a pair of season tickets. As the countdown comes in, that one's got a shot, and it bounces away. I've seen a tennis ball toss, Nate, and as we mentioned yesterday, haven't seen one during the game, but some of the fun you sign up for if you come here to Sinsheimer and the Blues, starting their season with 9 games at home. So come out, buy a couple tennis balls, try and toss them in. I'm not sure any made it today. I guess they also measure. We're new here to the Blues season. Measuring who's the closest. 194. Did you throw that one?
I actually talked with Trevor Schmidt before the game about this event here, and honestly, yesterday it caught him by surprise. He sort of jumped a little bit at all the tennis balls flying out. You saw him just now smiling at this.
He's like, the aliens are coming for me. Look at all the neon green. One day we're going to have to go before the game, try and sneak our tennis balls up here to the press box and throw them. We don't have the best angle because I think the key to get it in the bucket is having something that goes up and then comes down. I'm not sure we can get that from where we are right now. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, we're right behind the camera, so it would really be almost a straight liner throw to get it over the net.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, you think you could sink it in here from the booth sitting down?
I don't
How about
think
that, sitting
so.
down too?
I don't think so. I think we might even hit the awning up above. But either way, real fun for the fans at Sinsheimer Stadium. Not the only on-field promotion. Things can get crazy here, but you're signing up for some good collegiate baseball and some family fun. And I think there's some people here that care more about the fun than the baseball, but the kids are having a great time, and everyone is enjoying what's going on here these first two games at Sinsheimer. The Blues won yesterday 5-0. They've got an 8-2 lead here in the top of the sixth, and it looks like it's A.J. Moreno back out on the mound. He really answered the call last inning when he came in. It was 2 runners on, only 1 out, and then Taman, the catcher, helped him by throwing out a runner at third, and he struck out Casey Wood on the next pitch to get out of it without allowing a run, helping keep this one far away from the Coastal Dodgers, and then the offense comes back, gets that run right back. It's 8-2.
Yeah, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far out of Moreno. I think this is a guy who can eat up some innings for you during this middle third of the game.
Riley Ryan at the dish, hit into an error, and he's singled. He bends back out of the way of a fastball too far in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Attacking again inside. Did that last inning as well when he came in. Something all the Blues pitchers have been doing.
1-0. He jump ropes back out of the way of that breaking ball. 2 balls and no strikes. We mentioned that Moreno pitched at Cal Poly Pomona this past season. Half reliever, half starter, as there's a foul back to the screen, 2-1. He did throw a 7-inning complete game in early March against Cal State East Bay. Gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, but 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, and completed the whole game himself. 2 balls, 1 strike, and a fastball clips the pants of Riley Ryan, the batter, and he's aboard for the 3rd time. Big bat chuck towards his own dugout. I think he wants to hit. But a leadoff base runner here in the 6th inning for the Coastal Dodgers.
Yeah, Moreno's got to work with a base runner now. But just keeping what he's doing. He's lost a little bit of control there and that at bat. But I'm liking his plan. I think he should stick with it. I think he's going to. He's experienced 4 years at Cal Poly Pomona.
We got a substitution. It's Nate Link coming in to run for Riley Ryan. And that it's not like that would have been because of the hit by pitch. I mean, Ryan barely even thought it hit him. So not an injury, just the Coastal Dodgers wanted to get people a shot. This is supposed to be a developmental league in the summer, so getting everyone a shot as Nate Link runs it first. And a breaking ball misses upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. A pinch hitter in as well for the Coastal Dodgers. It's Connor Neal, who pinch hit yesterday as well. He takes over for Eric Goebel, the left fielder. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Big hack at a high fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think Moreno should go back to that slider on this pitch here. I like where he's been placing it so far. I want to see him throw it again here.
Connor Neal at the dish. 6-run lead for the Blues. There's another fastball. Paint on the outer half. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On Neal, a redshirt freshman from Cuesta College. So right here around this area, getting to play against the hometown team. 1-2. As Moreno looks back at first, kicks and fires. And paints the inside corner with a slider called strike 3. Frisbee-like pitch on the inner half. That's the second strikeout out of the pen for Moreno.
And yeah, Moreno gets that first out with that slider I was talking about. Placed it really well, almost a ball, lower part of the zone. But a great out pitch by Moreno.
Another pinch hitter, and the Dodgers emptying the bench as Jeremy Camarena sits down in favor of Brendan Cicada, a high school senior. 0-1. And that one's a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cicada 6'2", 200 pounds. Moreno readies up and now picks to first. Kind of caught Nate Link leaning a little bit, but he's back. Schmidt applies the tag, tries to fake him out, and then tosses the ball back to his right-handed reliever.
That's a nice move by Moreno there. I'm wondering if Nate's going to shorten his lead here after seeing that.
1-1. And a grounder past the bag at third. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Cicada dealing with that slider that started in and didn't break that much, didn't break in the middle of the zone like it's supposed to. He fights it off for strike 2.
Another beautiful slider. Strike 3 swinging. He struck him out. That pitch is just dirty out of the hand of Moreno, and back-to-back Ks here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, Moreno's feeling it right now. I love how he stepped right back on the mound. He's ready to go. Now if he can just dial in that fastball, this will be done quick.
I was mistaken on the previous hitter. This is still Jeremy Camarena in his usual leadoff spot. It'll be his 4th at-bat. There's now 2 outs here in the 6th. So far today, Camarena has popped out, and he's grounded out twice. He's 0 for 3. 1-0. And a liner right back off the glove of Moreno. The second baseman, Ferguson, comes up with it, throws to first, not in time, as Schmidt didn't have his foot on the bag.
Yeah, weird play there by Schmidt. Got to have your foot on the bag. Didn't look like he was ready. Didn't look like he was prepared for that throw. I don't think he thought Judah Hill was going to make that play, but he did. And he was just standing flat-footed, not on the bag.
Still ironing out the kinks early on in the summer. It goes down as a hit off the bat of Camarena, his first base knock today. Could have been a lot worse. That ball was headed right at the head of Moreno. Did a good job to just block it. And Hill, really good effort. And he should have had the out if Schmidt had his foot on first base. And we're getting another pinch hitter. Ryan Weiss, the catcher, is coming out of the game. And stepping in his place is Julian Kirschenstein. 0-0 pitch with 2 runners on. And that's a fastball that misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Kirschenstein, a freshman at Cuesta, 5'11", 165-pounder. Standing tall at that right-hand batter's box against the righty Moreno. AJ kicks and fires and just misses that inside corner. He tried to go back to that same breaking ball, back to the well, but can't quite come up with a strike.
Yeah, went in a little soft there, kind of guided that slider. Wanted to hit that. Last time he went in there with that slider, it didn't break that much, so he tried to make it break, but when you baby it like that, it does the exact opposite, and that's what we saw there.
2-0, swing and a miss on a fastball. Blew it right by him. And the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 runners on for the Dodgers. And they have squandered a lot of the opportunities that have come their way offensively. And there haven't been many in this series, but they have not hit well with runners in scoring position. 2-1. And a fastball out. 3 balls, 1 strike.
It's got some cut action to that fastball as well. You're seeing similar movements on that cut fastball and that slider. That's how to mess up the hitters a little bit too, and that arm action looks identical. Faced a guy like that at the University of Virginia my freshman year, although he threw 93.
3-1. That's a foul ball down the right field line. What's it like standing in there against a 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball?
Man, I'm a freshman. This guy's a 5th-year senior, Steven Scotch, Twitter legend now, but he was standing in there at 6'5", big old beard, coming in at 3/4, and it looks the exact same as the fastball. Of course, there was always a strikeout, but very intimidating as a freshman seeing that at the University of Virginia.
Does not sound fun. I'm glad I never had to do that. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Runners will be on the move. It's Link at second and Camarena at first. Payoff pitch. Just inside. And Moreno was waiting for the strikeout call. It didn't come. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs.
Oh, man, and Moreno's asking, where'd that miss? And I'm going to have to agree with him there.
He wanted the call. And now, if you're the Dodgers here in the 6th inning, not too many more outs to work with. Here in Game 2 of this 2-game set, this feels like a situation where you got to come through. And Cole Knightley, who's reached base once today on an error, is at the plate with the bases loaded, flies the first pitch he sees into center field. Burns tracks it over to his right, stops right underneath it, and makes the one-hand catch to retire the side. Another bases loaded, squandered opportunity for the Dodgers, and Moreno works around the hit by pitch, the walk, and the single, and it is 8-2 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning here on the SLO Blues streaming network.
mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
For the Blues in this inning, it'll be
A lot of defensive changes coming your way for the Dodgers, and we'll report them all when we've got it all figured out. But for the Blues coming up here in the bottom of the sixth inning with a 6-run lead, it's Augusto Schroeder, Zach Tollerman, and JT Ricken due up for the Blues. And it's Emmett Speak, the new pitcher, another lefty for the Coastal Dodgers. A big swing and a miss from Schroeder. No balls and 1 strike. We've talked about the Dodgers, that a team, the GM right now is a area scout for the Dodgers. And I would go as far to say I think he's got a thing for left-handed pitchers.
Absolutely. Left-handed pitchers with some two-seam run. We're seeing another guy with a two-seamer and a slider right there. Want to talk about Emmett Speak a little more, too. Looking at his repertoire during warm-up pitching, he's got that two-seam, he's got a changeup, curveball, and a fastball. Two-seam and the curveball seem to float a lot. We saw it right there with that curveball, so he's got to wrangle that in, make it a little sharper.
And Schroeder lines a base hit up the middle. That's his second hit of the season, first hit today, and another leadoff base runner for the Blues, who have just continued to add on today. The hits, the walks, and the runs.
And right on cue, that two-seamer just floated right into the middle of the zone, right into Schroeder's barrel, and he pieces it up for a base hit.
Here's Zach Tollerman coming to the plate now. 2 walks today, 2 walks yesterday. Still looking for his first hit. 24 is the right fielder. 0-0 pitch. Tollerman backs out of the way as the count moves to 1 ball and no strikes. They got 1 ball, no strikes as Emmett Speak backs off the mound and readies up to come into Tollerman.
Schroeder looking antsy on first base. Wonder if he might go for it here.
He does not go, and the pitch misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 count on Tollerman with the runner at first. And Emmett Speak, the new pitcher, kicks and fires. Tollerman takes that two-seamer on the inside corner for a strike.
Yeah, good placement there by Speak on that two-seamer, low and in the strike zone. Finds a nice hole there, and also dangerous for a tall hitter like that. Golf that low pitch. But Tollerman takes a look at it for a strike 1.
2 balls, 1 strike on the big, tall Cuesta College product. Here is the 2-1. And it's a slider in the dirt. Schroeder takes off for second, and he's got the bag with ease on the pitch in the dirt. The count moves 3-1, and Schroeder's got a stolen base.
Good read by Schroeder. He had an excellent jump on that dirt ball read. He could see it out of hand. He could see the angle action, and he took off, giving Tollerman a runner in scoring position.
We were talking about Tollerman wants a hit. He's walked enough times, I think, already this season. I think he just wants to have a chance to swing at something, but he hasn't seen many strikes.
He can square him up, too. His bat sounds different from everyone else's in BP.
And it bounces past his feet. Schroeder takes off for third. He's going to turn to go home. Throw comes from the catcher, Weiss. It's low, and Schroeder is tagged out with ease.
Like the idea. Just got a little too excited there. Schroeder tried to be heads up and swipe an extra 90. But we're seeing something we haven't seen a lot from the Dodgers tonight, and that's been an accurate throw. Gets right to Speak, and he'll tag out Schroeder without even a slide.
So Tollerman draws another walk, and Schroeder tried to make the play at home, but he's tossed out. And now just same situation, runner at first, but 1 out. And it's JT Ricken who jumps out of the way of a low fastball, 1 ball, no strikes.
Bummer for the Blues, too. You would have had a runner at first and third. You got Ricken, who's seeing the ball super well. Two singles on the day, both pieced. Could have been another scoring opportunity there. But he's got to work with Tollerman at first for now.
1-0. Two-seamer on the outer half for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Oh, man, and that pitch looked good. but he was sitting there at 1-0. Wasn't really one he loved.
1-1 offering. And it's a slider that misses out. 2 balls, 1 strike. All right, I think I have all the defensive changes for the Dodgers. It's Neal who came into the game at second. Cicada is in left field. Bibby's moved from right to center, and Spencer is into the game, stretching out as you see him in right field. The only one I don't know about is the catcher. 2-1. There's another 2-seamer for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The reason it's so hard to figure out who the catcher is you have that big thing on the back of the chest protector that just completely blocks the number.
Quite convenient, the entire number.
But if it is who pinch hit for Weiss, then it's Kirstenstein behind the plate. Looks like a single-digit number. 2-2. And it bends back. JT Ricken, I don't know how that pitch did not hit him, but the count moves full. This is a spot where you think about sending Tollerman.
I'd send Tollerman here. Some inaccuracies going inside. Speak going with that 2-seamer inside. He got to work that first time, and he's been living with it, living, dying by it ever since.
Payoff. Tollerman's on the move, and a 2-seam misses inside again. 1-out walk for the Blues. Puts runners at first and second with just 1 out. And here comes Ryan Taman, who still looking for his first hit on the summer, but has an RBI. He's been hit by 2 pitches, and he's walked twice.
Yeah, and Tollerman was sent there. Didn't matter. Ended up in a walk for Ricken.
Tollerman at second, Ricken at first. As here's Ryan Taman, local catcher from AG, heading to Cal. And Emmett Speak here in his first inning, another lefty for the Dodgers, a seemingly endless supply of left-handed pitchers, and another jam. Blues looking to score for the 5th straight inning. They scored 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and 1 last inning in the bottom of the 5th.
Nice production.
I'd say it's pretty good. An 8-2 Blues lead, looking for their first sweep of the season and first series win under new head coach Dean Traynor to open up this 2023 season. 1-0. Another 2-seamer. That one's spotted up. And when that pitch works, it's a really beautiful offering.
Just going to say, 2-seamers looking a lot better. It's come a long way since those warm-up pitches. Getting a lot tighter, starting in the inner half of the zone, getting into the middle. It seems like he's been working on that all inning, and it's paying off now as he took that one for a strike.
Taman watches a curveball fly too high and out. The count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike.
And that's Emmett Speak's next step, is to land that curveball. If he can be effective with that 2-seam and the curveball, be great for the Dodgers.
Ryan Taman, a kid that committed to Cal when he was just 15 years old and stuck with his commitment all the way to signing day in November of 2022. He laces a 2-1 fastball on a line drive to left. A diving catch by Cicada to rob Taman of his first hit of the summer. Can't hit it much harder than that, as the Blues think it hit the ground, and that looks to be the call as Tollerman's tagged out. I've got no idea what's going on. Doesn't look like the Dodgers do either. The umpire explains that.
Yeah, it looked like the ball hit the ground. Cicada sold it like he caught it.
Sure looked like from here that Cicada caught the ball, but the Dodgers, I think, are going to get out of this inning either way.
That's why you sell it as an outfielder. Whether you catch it or not, you got to sell it.
I'm confused as to where the third out is, because there was 1 out. That ball dropped. Unless they stepped on second base before throwing to get Tollerman at third, then there won't be a third out. I mean, Tollerman clearly out at third base. Whether it dropped or not, there's going to be 1 out, because either it's an out on the catch or Tollerman's out on the tag at third. I think the only other way that there could have been a third out on that play is if the Dodgers stepped on second base before throwing to third, because then you would have had the force out on Ricken at second and then the tag of Tollerman at third.
Definitely got confusing there. You had some people leaving the field. You had some people staying on there.
And the Blues aren't leaving. I mean, Dean Traynor, head coach,
you got to stay on.
Is trying to argue and figure out how this could possibly be a called double play. And if you're the Blues, somehow it works out where you wish that the call was that it was caught.
Yeah, Dean most likely asking questions just like we are on this play.
One thing's for certain, there's at least 1 out. And it seems like the Blues are just going to let this play out Now the explanation comes to Tollerman about what happened. I guess what you call it is 7-4. That's the force out to get Ricken at second base. And then a throw to third to get Tollerman on the tag. A 7-4-5 double play.
You guys get that at home?
I don't think anyone has ever seen one of those before. But either way, the Blues, 2 outs on one of the weirdest plays that you will see. Is now we head to the top of the 7th. We'll keep it here on the SLO Blues streaming network. What a weird play.
Very.
I'm glad I had someone here to work through it with because that got confusing in a hurry.
It had multiple people confused. It had the manager, had me and you, had the runners on the bases.
And if you're Taman, even if it wasn't caught, it normally would have been a hit. But now it's just a fielder's choice double play that he hit into.
Exactly.
It doesn't end up with a base hit. Well, either way, we're going to keep it here on the SLO Blues streaming network. 8-2 San Luis Obispo as we head to the top of the 7th inning. And A.J. Moreno is going to stay out on the mound. It'll be Ash Bibby's coming to the plate, followed by Cal Whip and Casey Wood. That's assuming there's no more pinch hitters, Nate.
Looks like we do have one coming up, and Braden McCoy, the left-hander, taking some cuts, and he strides up.
McCoy could have been in center field. You've got multiple players sharing the same number for the Coastal Dodgers. Everyone is ironing out the kinks early on this summer. But you're right, it is Braden McCoy coming to the plate. Knightley was retired last inning to end the frame, which means now it'll be 4-5-6. Stick with us at home. We're still figuring these things out, too. And the Dodgers aren't making it easy with all these defensive substitutions, the pinch hitters. But Braden McCoy, who led off the game yesterday for the Dodgers, had one of their 4 hits. Comes up against Moreno. And a fastball misses outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. The only thing that I'm certain about right now is that the Blues lead at 8-2. 1-0. Fastball's outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Great job by Taman there, framing that one. He just stuck it. As a catcher, you just got to stick it there and be assertive about the pitch.
Does the same thing there. This time he gets the strike call. It's 2-1. Moreno came in back in the 5th inning after Nairn, the starter, went 4 1/3. Moreno came in, stranded a couple of runners, and he's been throwing ever since as the count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. Since he came into the game, he's gotten 4 strikeouts, and if you're counting at home, the total up to 8 Ks for the Blues today. There's a leadoff walk to Braden McCoy, and it seems like a pedestrian number when you pit it up against the 17 strikeouts the Blues had yesterday.
Yeah, it really puts Lardner's day in perspective yesterday.
We had a chance to talk with Robbie after the game anyway, and I think he wanted to talk about the strikeouts a bit, but I think he was just excited to have thrown a good outing for the Blues. He was not happy with the way his summer went last year, but a much better start to his 2023 campaign with the Blues. As Cal Whip, one of the lone Dodgers that's staying in this game, swings through a high changeup, and 0-1.
Yeah, and he was certainly excited about it heading into today. I talked with him and the rest of the pitchers, and their chemistry is blending quicker than usual.
Runner breaks, stops halfway, and the pitch bounces off of Taman, and McCoy takes second base to put a runner in scoring position.
Unfortunate there for Taman because he does a great job of putting his body in front of that ball, but it just ricochets a little too hard and gives enough space for McCoy to swipe second. But everything fundamentally sound for Taman on that play.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and a runner at second base for the Dodgers. Moreno takes a deep breath, now kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Big fastball right above the letters, and the count moves 1 ball, 2 strikes. Whip so far today has one of those 8 strikeouts. He's grounded out and he's walked. He's 0 for 2. One, 2. And Whip fights it foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, now Moreno seems to be moving towards nipping away in that outer half of the zone. Especially with 2 strikes, you're choking up, you're getting up in the box, and you got to be situational here. You got a runner on second, no one else. no one out, you just got to punch it to the right side, especially with 2 strikes. Doing that anyway.
Another 1-2. And a slider misses low and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Looked like he was trying to go for that same front door movement that he's gotten a couple strikeouts with.
Yeah, and a different look. It seemed like he was transitioning towards moving away from that and nipping on the outside, and he changes up the look there and goes back inside. Gives Whiff something to think about.
2-2. He goes to the slider again and does not get the call on the inside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And that's not bad by Moreno that right there. That's that out pitch we were talking about earlier. That pitch that's not necessarily a strike. You're just trying to get the hitter to swing at it. Well executed. Not necessarily a strike, but something that Moreno anticipated Whiff was going to swing at, and Whiff does a good job spitting on it. Good set of peepers.
Payoff. And a high pop-up first base side, ranging foul. It bounces just in front of the first set of seats here at Sinsheimer Stadium. And now all the kids, I think, are figuring out, is that ball in play? It's below the range of stands in which they can go, and they're trying to get someone to toss it up. There are at least 12 kids up on that ledge trying to get a baseball. Another payoff offering. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. 9 strikeouts for the Blues today. And that's the first out here in the top of the 7th inning, and another beautiful slider out of the hand of Moreno.
That is paint right on the inner corner of the strike zone, and Cal Whiff goes down looking. Moreno executes that perfectly.
Is there any way to hit that pitch?
No, it's very tough. That is absolutely paint.
I've talked with pitchers before, and a lot of times they have said that if you're really not ever able to try and throw that pitch. It often happens by accident. You try and recreate it, and it's just something you can't do. As we've got another pinch hitter. It's Veal coming into the game. Isaac Veal from Bishop Diego, and he takes a strike. He's into the game for Casey Wood, who had a pretty good day, double, a walk, and a strikeout.
Going back to that slider, that one started middle of the zone, ended out, whereas in the past at bat, he was working in.
Check swing on an inside fastball, just misses in. 1 ball and 1 strike. So I think if you're a hitter and you think most pitchers can't throw that pitch, even if they tried, then you just got to hope that they throw it for a ball. But when you've got a guy like Moreno who's able to spot it up, he can be a real tough at-bat. 1-1 to Veal on the way. And a fastball outside. That looks like the first one that we've really seen Moreno yank and just missed outside with it. Good job by Taman, though, to keep it in front.
Yeah, great job by Taman, standing up, being athletic, getting extended, and Moreno just got a little short on that one, and he yanked the fastball in the other batter's box.
2-1. Fastball catches the outside corner, maybe a generous call to A.J. Moreno to even up the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But he'll certainly take it. When you've got that nice slider, any other way you can get strikes, you're appreciative.
Yeah, and that's the right idea. I was just going to say, didn't get the strike, but it's the right idea, but he ends up getting the strike. Best of both worlds.
Everyone wants hot sauce. Moreno wants to send him home happy. 2-2. Another slider, just a little bit low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. This inning, it's been a laborious inning so far for Moreno as we see a right-hander warming up in the pen for the Blues. Another 3-2 count. All 3 hitters have gone 3-2 in this inning. Payoff once again. And Veal hits a high drive, deep left field. Hansen giving it chase. He looks up. Gone! Isaac Veal connects 3-2 and brings another 2 runs across for the Dodgers. The first homer at Sinsheimer this year, and Veal knew it off the bat.
Isaac Veal crushed that ball right on top of the building out there in left field, that storage building, and that was tall too. That was a tall home run.
And Jason Hansen, the left fielder for the Blues, all he could really do was watch it. He took a couple steps, stared up as that thing cleared the 380-foot fence out there in left field. 0-0. And that's a foul ball back to the screen. 0-1. Real impressive swing of the bat for Isaac Veal. And one of the first balls we've really seen hit hard by the Coastal Dodgers this weekend. And it comes in a big spot to bring them within 4. Slider low, 1 ball, 1 strike. This is Link, who pinch ran for Riley Ryan last inning. And he gets his first at-bat today.
Yeah, and write that in the scouting report. Usually earlier in counts, Moreno's been working that slider in and out. He goes left and right, but once he gets deeper in counts, once he gets hitters into 2 strikes, he tries to put that slider in the lower half of the zone, almost like a 12-6 curveball action. It looks a little different, and Veal picked up on it, and that's the pitch that Moreno throw, and he hammers it on top of that building.
Called strike 3, inside slider once again. The UFO Frisbee crosses across the inside part of the plate for yet another strikeout for the Blues, and Moreno bounces right back after the home run. That's 10 strikeouts now for the Blues today.
The high strikeout count continues for San Luis Obispo as Moreno is ready in the windup position.
Working quickly, 0-0. And at that time he misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes. The batter now is Neal, another pinch hitter last inning, and an 8 spot for the Dodgers that has produced 3 strikeouts and an 0-for-3 day so far today. 1-0. Pop up on the first base side. Is this playable for Schmidt? He ranges towards the Blues dugout, and it bounces in front of him and Taman. Count moves 1 ball, 1 strike.
Talked about a little yesterday how Lardner worked quickly. Moreno do the exact thing, actually a little more quicker. And as a hitter, super disorienting getting up there. You got to rush your whole routine. You got to get ready quick for either that 2-seam or that slider to come in. But that's what hitting's all about. You got to adjust. You got to be ready. Take your own time.
1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball just out off that inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's now an 8-4 ball game, so the Blues had been kind of coasting through this game. It's a little bit closer now as the Dodgers have shown some signs of power. Big home run off the bat of Isaac Veal. 2-1. That's in their first strike.
Yeah, 2 well-placed pitches in a row. Finish it out here. Deuces are hot.
2-2.
That's hot sauce.
2 outs. The fans want more hot sauce. Is it the 11th strikeout? Here it is. That inside slider doesn't have enough bend in it, and the count moves full yet again. Moreno dealing with a lot of full counts here in this inning. The pitching is stopped in the bullpen for the Blues, which could mean 2 different things. Here's 3-2. Fastball low. I think what it might mean is that was the last hitter for Moreno, and we'll see if Dean Traynor walks out there to collect the 4th-year junior. Right now there's no movement, and it seems like they're just going to keep letting Moreno battle.
Looks like Moreno's having some grip issues right there. Mechanically looks very sound, super controlled, compact stride. The release point looks normal, but after yanking that fastball and that slider slipping, I got to think he's having some trouble getting some grip on the ball right now.
Here's Brendan Cicada.
Nippy night here in slow.
Cicada came in for Goebel, the left fielder out of Cornell College last inning, and he struck out after entering the game. No balls, 1 strike, runner at first. Moreno kicks and deals and misses outside. I think he's really just trying to place those pitches perfectly on the edge. You know, sometimes after you give up a home run, you don't really want to serve another one up over the strike zone. The Dodgers haven't been hitting much this weekend, but the showing from Veal is, hey, we can hit.
Yeah, Jack, you nailed it there. He's trying to be perfect, trying to place that pitch exactly where he wants it, and you're not going to do that by trying to do that full out like we mentioned earlier.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to give up a home run either. And it can be flustering, especially he had been cruising along 2-1. It's in there for a strike. When you're cruising along and then all of a sudden, kind of out of the blue, there's a home run, it can be hard to work around. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We'll see if the runner goes with 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for A.J. Moreno. He strikes out the side, but the Dodgers add 2 more runs on the home run from Isaac Veal. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's now 8-4 San Luis Obispo.
mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today.
Nate, tell me if you heard this one before. Another pitcher in for the Dodgers, and it's a lefty, of course. Jordan Rico coming into the game. The freshman from Santa Barbara Community College, and it seems like we were talking about that endless supply of left-handed pitching for the Dodgers.
Yeah, not getting a lot of different looks here from the Dodgers bullpen. Another small-framed left-hander who's got a fastball, breaker, also another two-seam. We'll see if Trevor Schmidt can continue to get on base again here in the bottom of the seventh.
We don't want to use the announcer's jinx, but Schmidt still hasn't gotten out for the Blues this season. You tally it up today, 2 walks and a single. Yesterday, 3 walks, a single, and a hit by pitch. 1-0. And Schmidt checks his swing on a fastball that misses a little bit too high and tight. So you do all the counting, and it was 5 yesterday, 3 today. It is 8 total plate appearances for Trevor Schmidt, and he still has not been retired this season. 2-0. He pops this one up. Feels like the first time we've really seen him swing other than those 2 singles. The bat stayed on his shoulder. He just hasn't gotten a pitch to hit.
Yeah, and he got 2-0 right there. He just got a pitch to hit, and he fouls it off into the bleachers on the left side. Still in a hitter's count, though, at 2-1.
Wants to use the lumber. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. And Schmidt hits a fly ball to left. This one's hanging up there for Cicada, who loses it in the lights, but then finds it. And Schmidt is retired for the first time this year, and we spoke a little too soon.
Yeah, that's my fault. That's on me. Got to be better than that.
You see, I can't say I don't want to use the announcer's jinx and then say something that might be considered a jinx.
Players always got very frustrated with me because baseball players, very superstitious people, have to tie their shoelaces 3 times. I don't know if you've seen that Justin Verlander commercial. Use the 3rd stall, swipe the mound 3 times. It was never superstitious. It would drive people nuts. I remember my freshman year at Towson, one of our pitchers, Nick Janowitz, had a no-hitter going through 6. I said something.
You did not.
He found out.
Oh, no.
Was very upset.
I would be mad at you, too.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Jason Hansen up at the plate now. A single. He's 1 for 3 today. And he looks at a fastball that hits the outer half. That's one thing. Like I definitely am superstitious. And as an announcer in this climate where everyone feels like they're mentioning the no-hitters, perfect games, I won't. I'm superstitious about that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's the rules.
Hansen fights it off back to the screen. I can't believe you did it to your own teammate.
Yeah, that was a tough lesson for me there. It's welcome to the next level.
Maybe goodbye from the next level.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't just throw you off the team himself.
He was the only other, one of the few other California people there in Maryland, so gave me some slack.
No balls, 2 strikes on Hansen. And Rico misses low. First off-speed pitch we've seen. So you did it to one of your own kind as well.
Yeah, to make it worse.
All I can say is yikes. That's all I've got. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jason Hansen. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. 8-4 Blues lead. 1-2. And Hansen goes down swinging on the curveball. The first strikeout out of the pen for Rico. One of the things I've been impressed about the Blues so far today, they've only struck out 4 times. And all of them have been swinging strike 3s, which I'd rather, I think if you're Dean Trainer as well, see the Blues go down swinging than looking.
For sure. You'd way rather see that as the manager of the team and just other teammates on the Blues, is that they're going down swinging. They're trying their hardest to put the bat on the ball.
TJ Adams 2 for 3, a single and a double. His first game with the Blues, and he looks at a changeup for a strike. Adams, like Trevor Schmidt, who came up earlier, redshirted in his first season at Arizona this year after graduating from Red Mountain High School, where he played 4 years of varsity baseball in Arizona. That curveball's low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hit a staggering .448 as a junior and was first team all-conference as a junior and senior. 1 ball, 1 strike on him with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch misses out. 1 ball or 2 balls and 1 strike.
That hit tool is definitely there for Adams. I call guys like him hit collectors. They just collect them every game. Just somehow, some way, he gets it done. He's got 2 tonight.
2-1. And that misses out. 3 balls and 1 strike. Big driver's seat situation now for Adams. And even if I, got to talk to him here, whether it be on the post-game show or before the game, the first thing I'm asking about is not hitting 448. His profile page at Arizona says he's won multiple cornhole tournaments. 3-1. And he looks at a fastball for a strike. I want to know when, where, how, and how good is he?
We also got to talk to the promo team and get a cornhole competition and throw him out there. I want to see that happen.
Cornhole with a broadcaster with just TJ Adams, the only guest. 3-2. He swings and misses. 2 straight strikeouts for Jordan Rico out of the pen, and another 1-2-3 inning, the first one since the first for the Coastal Dodgers. And Nate, I'll have to say goodbye to you until tomorrow. Thanks for joining me throughout these middle innings, and I'm sure you'll go film some real great social media stuff throughout the rest of this one. Heading to the top of the 8th inning, it is Blues 8, Dodgers 4.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
New pitcher in for the Blues. It's Caden Tynes making his 2023 Blues debut. A Cuesta College player out of Arroyo Grande High School. So the hometown kid pitched 2 scoreless innings for the Blues last year, but this is his first appearance. He's the 4th pitcher that the Blues have used, the 5th pitcher the Blues have used this season. He takes over for A.J. Moreno, who went 2 2/3 innings. He had 5 strikeouts. He gave up 2 earned runs and only gave up a couple of hits. It's an 8-4 Blues lead here in the top of the 8th inning, and the Blues are looking for their first sweep of the season, their first series win under new head coach Dean Traynor here in 2023, as Tynes misses upstairs with a fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. Tynes was a 2-sport standout at AG, 2 years varsity baseball, and honestly might have even been a better football player. As his 1-0 is sliced into right field, it's hanging up for Adams in the deep night sky. Adams puts his glove up and makes the one-handed catch for the first out here in the 8th. Tynes was the All-Area Offensive Player of the Year as Arroyo Grande's star running back. He had 1,289 total yards, 21 total touchdowns, and that's a really good season already. That was just on offense. On defense, 92 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and an interception. Grounder to short. Schroeder's got a second chance at a ground ball. He throws low, but it's dug out by Schmidt, the first baseman. 2 quick outs here in the 8th. So Tynes doing exactly what the coaches want him to out of the pen. He's coming in throwing strikes with a 4-run lead. Inning started with a fly out to right field, and then that ground out to Augusto Schroeder at short. Cole Knightley at the plate now. He swings at the first pitch he sees and flies it out of play foul. No balls and 1 strike. Tynes didn't play at Cuesta this season, but he'll head back there next year for his sophomore year. Well, now pitching a couple miles away for the Blues. Big swing and a miss by Knightley on the fastball. No balls and 2 strikes. And Tynes 1 strike away from getting out of this inning real quick for the Blues and bringing the bats back up. Try and bring some insurance across in the bottom of the 8th. Tynes comes set. Glove held just underneath his chin. He kicks and fires. And a foul ball right back to the screen. Big cut by Knightley. Just missed it. And the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Another 0-2 on the way, but first Tynes steps off and wants another sign. Game 2 of the 2023 season. Blues and Dodgers going at it again. Blues won 5-0 yesterday en route to a potential series sweep. 0-2. Called strike 3 on the inner half. Caden Tynes comes in, works a quick 1-2-3 inning, gets his first strikeout of the 2023 summer. 11 for the Blues here today, and we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is still 8-4 San Luis Obispo when we return on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom 8 here at Sinsheimer Stadium, and the Blues coming back up, starting with Judah Hill, the 9-hole hitter, then back to the top of the order, Nin Burns and Augusto Schroeder, and an 8-4 Blues lead. Jordan Rico stays on the mound for Coastal Dodgers, and he gets Judah Hill to swing through that fastball to make it no balls and 1 strike. Hill's had a pretty good day in his Blues debut, made some nice plays at second, and he has an RBI single. He's 1 for 3. Rico kicks and fires, and Hill takes a fastball for a strike. Rico is really one of the only pitchers the Dodgers have thrown out there this weekend that has been around the plate, and he's worked quickly. Had a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th with 2 strikeouts. Ahead in the count 0-2 here on Judah Hill. He strides and shoots, and Hill takes a fastball too far off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Blues playing here today, the second game in a stretch of 4 straight days with games, all here at Sinsheimer Stadium. It was yesterday and today against the Dodgers, and Bay Area Admirals are in town for tomorrow and Monday as Hill fouls it back to the screen. 4 straight days to open the season, then start some league play eventually. The Blues do play each of their first 9 games here at home. Part of a 36-game home schedule for the Blues, and I think SLO, with the roster they've cultivated this offseason, wants to play some playoff games here as well. 1-2. And Hill strikes out swinging. 3 straight Ks out of the pen for Jordan Rico from last inning to this inning, and there's 1 out here in the 8th. Tomorrow's game against the Admirals on what would be a Sunday start, 4 p.m., and then everything culminates here this weekend, and a Memorial Day Monday 2 p.m. start. That's game 2 against the Admirals, a league team. As here's Nin Burns. So far today, he's 1 for 4 with a single. Came around to score after a stolen base. And he checks his swing but goes around on a fastball. It's 0-1. Jordan Rico. Took him a while to get into these games for the Dodgers. He's looked like really their best pitcher so far. He's faced 4 batters. He's gotten all 4 of them out. And he's got 3 Ks. 0-1. And Burns takes it high. 1 ball and 1 strike. We thank you for joining us once again on the Blues Streaming Network. You're going to be hearing a lot of us throughout the rest of the summer. This is just Game 2. The Blues play just around 45 games this year. 1-1. And Burns spoils it foul right over the head of the on-deck hitter, Augusto Schroeder. But with the way the playoffs work this year, the Blues just have to be one of the 2 best teams in the Southern Division of the CCL in order to have a chance to play in the playoffs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Burns takes a high fastball. Too high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The top 2 teams in each division play each other in a 1-game semifinal in 2023. And then the winner of each of those 2 semifinal 1-game matchups, those 2 go on to play each other in a 3-game championship series. Strike 3 called on Nin Burns. 4 straight strikeouts for Jordan Rico, and his catcher, Kirstenstein, forgot how many outs there were and jumped a little bit too quickly to try and get back into that dugout. That's the first looking strikeout for the Blues so far today, but Jordan Rico has been everything that the Dodgers could want and more out of the pen. He's got 4 straight Ks. Here's Augusto Schroeder, 1 for 4 on the day with a single. And he was gunned out at home trying to stretch a wild pitch into 180 feet the last time he was on base. There's a strike on the curveball. No balls and 1 strike. The Blues definitely have a roster they feel confident about. They're expecting just under 30 players to be playing at the D1 level that'll be here this summer. Really an impressive on-paper roster cultivated by Dean Traynor. And we were talking about Traynor earlier. This, of course, is his hometown team. He's coached for the Blues before, pitching coach and head coach. He's had children that have played for the Blues, coming from San Luis Obispo. A soft spot for him, but he's been to high levels of baseball. Kind of a big guy to have running your program as Jordan Rico strikes out the side. 5 straight strikeouts out of the pen, and 4 runs will have to be enough as we head to the top of the 9th inning. It's Blues 8, Coastal Dodgers 4. Come back for the top of the 9th inning as the Blues go for their first sweep of the season. We welcome you back to Sinsheimer Stadium on the SLO Blues streaming network, where the Blues are looking to close out their first sweep of 2023. They've got the Dodgers on the ropes. It's 8-4 Blues here in the top of the 9th inning. Caden Tyne stays out on the mound for SLO, as it's 4-5-6 due up in the Coastal Dodgers order, starting with Braden McCoy, who walked as he pinch hit his last time at the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Tyne's last inning worked a 1-2-3 frame, got a fly out, a ground out, and then a big strikeout of Cole Knightley. He misses outside with a 1-0 fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. It's been a bit of a different game today. the Blues have still had a high strikeout total, a high walk total at the plate. A lot more hitting today for both squads. Swing and a miss. Kind of a half-hearted attempt at that high fastball. The Blues have 9 hits. And the Coastal Dodgers have 5, including a big home run, the first real display of power we've seen this summer. It was off the bat of Isaac Veal. Yesterday had a combined 7 hits. As the Blues walked 15 times, they struck out the Dodgers 17 times. So it was a lot of free 90s or Ks, but today more hitting involved. Strike 3 called. A strikeout for Caden Tynes, his second in a row, and that's how the 9th gets started. Another looking strikeout. And just as yesterday, all the K signs that are put up here at Sinsheimer Stadium have made their way to the second side of the press box. That's how many strikeouts that the Blues have. The total is now 13 for the game. For the Blues, they are not going to hit the number yesterday of 17, but they're going to come close. As we've got another pinch hitter coming in. This is Brady Spencer into the game. He's batting for Whip, the first baseman. 1-0 two-seamer, misses inside, 2 balls and no strikes. A really good job for Tynes out of the bullpen so far, at least. He's faced 4 hitters, gotten all 4 of them out, and he struck out the last 2. 2-0. A little liner back to the screen, 2 balls and 1 strike. And you can't say enough about what the Blues have done on the mound so far in this series. They've now eclipsed the 30 strikeout total over the last 2 games combined. They've only walked a handful of hitters. They've allowed 4 runs, and they've been just all around the plate with some filthy stuff. Big swing and a miss makes it 2-2. And if you're these fans at Sinsheimer Stadium, the ones still around here late into the night on a Saturday, it's just been an impressive baseball throughout these first 2 games for SLO. 2-2 pitch. High drive, deep right field, but hook and foul just past the Blues bullpen off the turtle shell that's used for batting practice. The count stays 2-2. Spence out way ahead of that one. Here's another 2-2. And Spence goes down swinging. 3 straight strikeouts out of the pen for Caden Tynes. 14 on the day for the SLO Blues. And they're 1 out away from their first sweep of 2023. And for the Blues, they give out a bottle of hot sauce after every strikeout. They're down 31 bottles of hot sauce this weekend. Might run out at some point. Who knows? Here's Isaac Veal. Homered his last time up. One of the lone bright spots for the Dodgers in this series. His homer made it an 8-4 game from an 8-2 ball game. And now he's adding the count 1 ball and no strikes. Veal came in for Casey Wood. The 6th spot in the order has been the best for the Blues today. Casey Wood got it started. He had a double and a walk. And then Veal came in as a pinch hitter, and Wood might be thinking, why am I getting taken out of the game? I've 1 for 2. I've got on base twice, and the guy that comes in hits a home run. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out away for the Blues. There's a big curveball that bends Veal out of the way and then crosses home plate for a strike. 1-2, and the fans at Sinsheimer start to cheer, not just for hot sauce this time, because the Blues are 1 strike away from a win. Veal comes set, kicks and fires. It's a Sinsheimer sweep. 15 strikeouts on the day as Tynes strikes out the last 4 hitters he faces, and the Blues win it 8-4. This game goes final. A 5-0 sweep yesterday, an 8-4 victory today, and the Blues are 2-0 to start the 2023 summer. Caden Tynes was electric out of the pen. Alex Narin gave the Blues 4.1 innings, only allowing 2 runs, and the offense patched together 9 hits and 8 runs. Stay tuned here on the SLO Blues streaming network as we try and get you guys a nice post-game guest. Yesterday it was Robbie Lardner. We got a couple to choose from today. The Blues had a lot of standout performers, but we'll be right back here on the Blues streaming network.
mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
We're back here on the SLO Blues streaming network after the Blues win at 8-4, and we've got our special guest of the day, TJ Adams. TJ, you went 2 for 4 in your Blues debut, couple of hits. The first one was a bloop. Did it feel good to see that one fall down for your first hit in a Blues uniform?
Absolutely, yeah. It was. It's been a while, so getting that first debut in was nice. Just getting my timing down, but it was definitely nice, yeah, for sure.
You watched yesterday from the bench as the Blues walked 15 times, brought across 5 runs. Only 3 hits, though. The bats seemed to break out a little bit more today. What did you see from the offense?
Definitely. We got some good batting practice in beforehand, and we were just all loose, and we just got ready to go. But, yeah, it's contagious, definitely. So the guys are ready to go.
You're one of 2 Arizona Wildcats in the order. It's yourself and Trevor Schmidt. When
Yep.
we were talking to the broadcast, he came up his first 8 times as a Blue and didn't get out. And does in his last at-bat. But what have you seen from him? What kind of morale and camaraderie do you guys have, both coming here from Arizona? And is it good to have another great, talented teammate from the Wildcats?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We're staying in the same host family, and we've been good friends at Arizona, and he's a great guy. He works really hard, and I'm happy to see him doing well. He's really good.
Your pitching's been pretty good, too. 31 strikeouts in the 2 games
Absolutely.
of this series. What did you see from the arms that the Blues threw out there?
It was really solid. It was nice to go out to the outfield right there and just strike out the side. It was definitely really nice. And then started it well, and everybody did really well today. It was really nice to play the outfield out there with that pitching.
I've got one more question to ask you, because we looked at your Arizona player profile page,
Yep.
and I scrolled to the bottom. You've won multiple cornhole tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
What can you tell us about that?
Oh man, that's a long story, but yeah, we have a cornhole tournaments every Christmas. Used to be in some cornhole tournaments with my dad, and we're pretty solid. We've won a lot of cornhole tournaments. My brother and I won a cornhole tournament, and it's definitely a special talent. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, can you teach the viewers, how do you throw the bag? What's your technique?
I don't like to move at all, so I set my feet. Can't go across that front line of the board. So I set my feet, and then it's just kind of like one motion, just always the same toss, little frisbee sideways spin, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, there's a little bit of technique to it.
Well, we thank you so much for coming to join us, and congratulations on another great game. The Blues get a sweep. It is a Sinsheimer sweep, 2 games against the Coastal Dodgers. We'll be back here tomorrow as the Blues take on the Bay Area Admirals after winning these first 2 games against the Dodgers. That's all we've got for you guys on the SLO Blues